Torrential thunderstorms came through the area earlier, but the skies have cleared over Citi Field, and why not? Everything's been clear for the Mets in their home this year. 26-10 in their home ballpark and going for the sweep of the Detroit Tigers tonight. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets played the Detroit Tigers. Mets baseball is presented in HD by IOTV. Get your HD free with IOTV. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets go for the sweep of their three-game series against the Detroit Tigers. The Mets have a couple of minor injury problems to deal with tonight. Angel Pagan left last night's game with some spasms in his side. He will sit tonight, maybe tomorrow as well. Jesus Feliciano will play center field. Rod Barajas has back spasms, so Henry Blanco will catch tonight. And as a hedge against Barajas maybe not being available at all, the Mets have called up Josh Thole from AAA. They've optioned pitcher Raul Valdez down to Buffalo. As for on the field, nothing going wrong for the Mets right now, particularly here at home, in large part because of the play of Jose Reyes. Last night, 3 hits and 3 runs scored for the second straight game.
Well, the Mets all-star shortstop, 6 for 10 on this homestand thus far with 6 runs, a triple, a home run, and a stolen base there last night with that leadoff trip. This is the best I've seen Jose swing the bat from the left side all season. This was the bomb he hit. Nice little 2-iron over the Modell sign. As I said, 360 Jose is hitting since May 20th. That's highest in the National League. And ironically, it all ties into him getting back to that leadoff spot, which he returned to on May 15th.
Well, Reyes' heroics last night boosted R.A. Dickey, who didn't need a whole lot of boosting with 8 shutout innings. And tonight, the Mets will turn from Dickey to Isanori Takahashi.
Well, it's hard to separate those two. Takahashi's been outstanding, too. 3-1 in his 6 starts, 6-2 overall. If you put Dickey and Takahashi together, 9-1 in their 13 starts. Hard to ask for anything more than that. And he was outstanding on the big stage at Yankee Stadium. And tonight, he's going against the man who pitched the imperfect game, but really he became the perfect gentleman as he handled all the things, the repercussions of that game with aplomb. Big season 2 seasons ago with 13 wins. Came back from the World Baseball Classic last year and struggled. And this year, after 7 minor league starts, has done much better in his second go-around here in Detroit.
Well, the Mets have been handling their American League competition, going 11-3 so far, and they'll go for the sweep of the Tigers tonight. The brooms are out. Takahashi against Galarraga. All the action coming your way tonight on SNY. Brought to you by Geico. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Volkswagen. By Empire City Casino at Yonkers Raceway, the jackpot is next door. And by Audi, truth in engineering. Get to Citi Field as the series with the Minnesota Twins begins tomorrow night at 7:10 p.m. Get the best seats direct from the Mets at Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. Here's your Suzuki around the majors action from this afternoon. Scoreless game until the bottom of the 8th. Paul Konerko, 2-run homer of Takashi Saito. White Sox win their 9th in a row as they sweep the Braves 2-0. Giovanni Gallardo, a 5-hit shutout, struck out 12, no walks as he beat the Twins 5-0, and the Brewers sweep that series. Phillies got a walk-off homer from Jimmy Rollins last night. Today, Dane Sardina hit his first big league home run, and the Phillies are rolling again, 12-3 today over Cleveland.
Isn't it interesting? Jimmy Rollins back in the lineup, in Philadelphia is an entirely different team. Konerko's 2-run home run was his 18th today.
Well, with the Braves lost this afternoon, the Mets have a chance to take over first place in the National League East if they can take care of business against the Tigers. First pitch from Citi Field coming right up. Austin Jackson, who got the night off last night, back in there tonight. Ryan Rayburn gets a start at second base. Ordonez, Cabrera, Bosch, those are the big boppers in the Detroit lineup as the Tigers try and salvage the finale of this series against the Mets as they face Isanori Takahashi.
Well, you look at that 6-2 record, half of those wins are as a starter in 6 starts. This is his 7th. He's been outstanding at interleague play, twice against the Yankees, once against the Indians, 2-0 with a 0.47 ERA.
Takahashi's numbers brought to you by Verizon.
And Alexis Metzi defense, you can see the big thing right there. Of course, we've been raving about Tejada's glove, but Feliciano in center field, Pagan with a little bit of that back spasms, and lose a little defense there, but still you got Francoeur and Bay in the corners.
All right, Dickey, talking to Mike Pelfrey. Dickey has been a phenomenon
Have you noticed those two are inseparable? They're always close, so that's pretty cool. R.A. Dickey just... It has been phenomenal. It reminds me of Aaron Small a couple of years ago with the Yankees. Terry Leach, of course, the history here.
Well, I just absolutely loved the interview that R.A. Dickey gave on the field after the game with Kevin, and all the talk of the clubhouse and the team concept. And that was refreshing and nice to hear and not surprising. This is a good squad, a good melded unit.
Austin Jackson, the former Yankee farmhand, leads off against Isunori Takahashi. First pitch of the night, a fastball for a strike. Jackson earlier this season was leading the American League in hitting. He has fallen quite a bit. He's just 5 for his last 40. Still hitting .307 on the year. And the curveball from Takahashi misses 1-1.
There's always a guy in April that is leading the league in hitting and hits, and there's Ryan Rayburn on deck, and that was Austin Jackson for the Tigers.
The first 2 weeks for Emilio Bonifacio.
Oh,
was that last year?
Yep.
2-1 to Jackson. Only Brendan Bosch, his teammate, has a better batting average among rookies in the American League.
Boy, Bosch has been impressive this series. I like the way he swings the bat.
I think the Tigers will just be happy to face somebody who's not throwing a knuckleball tonight. It's interesting to hear Dickey last night talk about struggling with his knuckleball early in the game. He did throw some fastballs early on, but it never really looked like much of a struggle after the first inning. Jackson fouls off the fastball, 3-2.
I just think if you're the New York Mets and you are playing the Tigers in interleague play, and you're not going to put on the mound Pelfrey or Santana, and you have a chance to sweep the series, that says a lot about your ancillary starters.
Well, those two guys at the back of the rotation, Dickey and Takahashi, have been better than anybody could have expected, and leads to that kind of a stretch for a team as Jackson draws the leadoff walk. So a base runner for the Tigers, and now Ryan Rayburn, normally an outfielder, getting his 8th start at second base this year. Jim Leland has played 3 different hitters in the number 2 spot in the batting order in this series. He had this catcher Gerald Laird there in the first game. He had Ramon Santiago there last night. Now he's going to try Rayburn. Jackson, the only stolen base threat for the Tigers. He swiped 10. And the changeup fouled off. 0-1 to Rayburn.
It'll be interesting as we see Takahashi working every 5th day, is that working outside with this really humid temperature. Most of the stadiums in Japan are domed, so you have the stadium has the same kind of atmosphere all the time. Here outside in this hot weather.
Takahashi working on the 6th day. He last pitched on Friday night. 6 shutout innings against the Yankees, allowed just 4 hits. And a check swing. He foul tips it into the glove of Blanco, and it's 0-2. He's had 2 starts against the Yankees, 6 scoreless innings in each one. He's made 6 starts as Magley Ordonez waits on deck, and of the 6, 4 have been outstanding. The first 2, and now the last 2. Blanco setting up inside. And Rayburn pulls it into left field for a base hit. So Takahashi couldn't get that ball in far enough, and Rayburn gets an 0-2 pitch for a hit.
Set up inside. Got it inside, and that's not a good sign when you put that ball in the inside corner and they turn on it like that. Nice piece of hitting by Mr. Rayburn.
Well, if you remember, Takahashi had a start in San Diego where he gave up a couple of 0-2 home runs, so the 0-2 pitch has been a problem for him, catching a little too much plate.
So here's Magley Ordonez, 1 for 8 in this series, still 6th in the American League in batting at .326. The Mets have been first inning masters of late. Now it's the Tigers trying to get off to a fast start. First and second, nobody out. Ordonez now 36 years old. First half of his career spent on the south side of Chicago. Part of that time playing for Jerry Manuel.
You see Feliciano in center field playing very deep. More, Pagan obviously is superior, is the best outfielder on the Mets team. And far as covering ground. Playing safe. A little easier to come in than it is to go back.
Feliciano just doesn't have the sheer speed that Pagan has. Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Ordonez 1-2. Jackson at second, Rayburn at first with nobody out. Takahashi trying to settle in here in the first inning. There goes Jackson, swing and a miss. Blanco's throw, not in time. A double steal. Jackson came off the bag briefly, but Wright couldn't get the tag back in time. Ordonez strikes out for the first out of the game, but Jackson and Rayburn execute the double steal.
Oh, he was held close. That's just speed right there. Good throw. A little high. He would have had it anyway. Almost came off that. Oh, he did come off the bag. Always keep the glove on the runner. Never take the glove off of the runner. He comes, he's off the bag. Right, again, he's off the bag.
Team that never steals, though, early in the game here, trying to push the envelope.
11th of the year for Jackson. Rayburn gets his first following him, so second and third and one out. And a chance for Miguel Cabrera, the American League leader in RBIs. Cabrera at 326, 19 homers, 60 runs batted in. The infield back, and Cabrera takes a rip. 0-1.
RBI situations. Nice pitch there by Takahashi. RBI situations. Cabrera will, like Manny Ramirez, like a lot of the RBI guys, will try to shoot that ball to right field.
A little bit of shade the opposite field on Cabrera, just ever so slightly. Straight up on the infield.
Good changeup by Takahashi, and for the third straight hitter, he's ahead 0-2.
No, the Tigers have just not been able to, and they've had men on base, have not been able to get them in.
Takahashi's average better than 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, although his strikeout numbers have been down lately. Here's the 0-2.
Had most of those strikeouts early on out of the bullpen when he was coming out and striking out 4, 5, 6 every time he came in.
Cabrera hitting .343 with runners in scoring position this year. One of the biggest threats in the game.
Notice how the good hitters with 2 strikes. He made him look bad on that first changeup. Trying to run one up there that time. Took it with tremendous balance.
Jackson and Rayburn in scoring position with 1 out. 35-year-old Isunori Takahashi making his 7th major league start. One-two. Upstairs with that fastball. 2-2. The left-hand batting Brennan Bosch is on deck. But Bosch has been bashing left-handed pitching.
Bosch stays in on lefties.
Two and two to Cabrera.
That's what makes great hitters so tough. I know from the pitching side, you make 4 or 5 great pitches in a row and they foul them off. You just can't make a half dozen in a row. You're going to make a mistake at one point, and they seem to invariably always make you pay.
Again, the 2-2, and the changeup into center field. Back goes Feliciano. To the edge of the warning track to reel it in. Jackson tags and scores. Rayburn to third. Sacrifice fly from Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers post the first run of the night. RBI number 61 for Cabrera.
That's a rarity for the Mets not to take an early lead. Pretty good at bat, good pitch, got it up. That was the difference in getting the ground ball or instead of the fly.
It's pretty good one-handed though to hit at 390.
Yep.
So 2 out of the inning, a run is in. And now the rookie left fielder Brennan Bosch, 2 for 6 in this series, including a long home run on Tuesday night. Bosch with 11 homers, 39 driven in, hitting .462 against left-handed pitching, and a good off-speed pitch by Takahashi, 0-1.
Takahashi does have 4 pitches. He has a curveball and a slider. They use that slider more against left-handed hitters, curves against the right-handed hitters.
Rayburn faking down the line. Takahashi ignores him and throws a fastball for a strike. And again, he's ahead 0-2. That's 4 straight hitters. He's gone ahead 2 strikes.
Almost Cliff Lee-like.
Well, Cliff Lee last night had 19 0-2 counts in his victory over the Cubs. His trade value goes up every day.
He now has 76 strikeouts to go along with 4 walks.
Popped up. Reyes retreats and makes the call. And that puts an end to the top of the first. Leadoff walk hurts Takahashi as the Tigers cash a run and lead 1-0. Check out your Geico starting lineup for the Mets tonight. Jesus Feliciano slides into that number 2 hole with Angel Pagan sitting out tonight with a muscle spasm in his side. Henry Blanco catches for the 2nd straight day with Rod Barajas suffering back spasms. Armando Galarraga on the mound for the Tigers. Numbers brought to you by Toyota.
Well, Galarraga, of course, starter that faced 28 hitters, and that big call at first base did not get the perfect game, but started with the Washington Nationals 2005, was traded to Texas in the Soriano trade, and then shipped over here to Detroit, and he found his way in 2008 with 13 wins.
Since his imperfect game, Galarraga's made 3 starts, no decisions, a 4.24 ERA, and got knocked out of the 5th inning in his last start on Friday against Arizona. A no decision for him. Behind Reyes 2-0, and Jose takes ball 3. Well, in 9 of the last 13 games the Mets have played, Reyes has led off the first inning with a hit. In one other, he led off with a walk. He's been getting on base in the first inning almost every day. And that's why the Mets have scored in 8 of their last 13 first innings.
Well, that's the best I've seen Jose swing the bat last night from the left side of the plate all year. Boy, he swung it. There he goes. That's trouble.
So he's aboard again. Galarraga, who doesn't walk many, walks the first man to face him.
And the Coors Light Tigers defense. And there's the youngster out there. The rookie only made 1 error so far this season. You see Bosch in left, Ordonez in right, Cabrera, Rayburn, Worth, Inge in the infield, and Gerald Laird back behind the plate.
Well, here's Jesus Feliciano making his 4th big league start. See if he'll take a pitch for Reyes to run. Galarraga's given up 3 stolen bases this year in his 6 starts. Feliciano showing bunt on the first pitch.
I was wondering if he's going to be used in a Castillo kind of way or a Pagan type of way. Castillo usually with the bunt in this situation. Pagan was very, very patient in taking pitches for Reyes to steal.
Not bad at driving him in from first base either, the way Pagan was going. Reyes with 19 steals, 2nd in the league. And Feliciano takes a 2nd strike. 31-year-old rookie, played over 1,200 minor league games before finally getting the call this year. And getting a chance to play tonight and perhaps tomorrow with Pagan on the sidelines. Pagan said he was feeling much better today, by the way. A little fist shot over the shortstop's head, but back to get it is Worth for the first out. Pagan said before the game he thinks they're going to give him today and tomorrow, which is probably on the wise side.
He'll get as many days as the Mets keep on winning. Because when you're winning, then you can take a shot at keeping him out of the lineup and getting him really, really healthy.
I feel the same way about Beltran, too. If the team keeps on winning, it's a long second half. A lot of second half after the All-Star break. Just make sure that when they come back, that they're ready to go and they're not going to re-aggravate an injury.
Beltran is starting his rehab assignment tonight down in Port St. Lucie. He's scheduled to play about 7 innings and play in center field. Here's David Wright with 1 out and 1 on. David now leading the National League in runs batted in with 56, hitting a .292 for the year.
And David noticeably swinging the bat better, staying in, swinging more level, not the big uppercut.
4 for 7 in this series with a couple of doubles. Pops this one up, shallow right, and out goes the second baseman Rayburn. And into foul territory to make the grab, 2 out.
So Galarraga, Ronnie, has a nice little tight slider, a little downer.
He does. He's one of those pitchers that he's not going to strike out anyone. He's usually not going to walk too many people. And for a big guy, he's not a power pitcher. He's a guy that keeps the ball down. He'll cut it and sink it. Left-handers traditionally have given him more trouble.
Not so this year, at least so far, but over the course of his career. Ike Davis 5 for 10 in this series, and he's driven in 5 runs in the 2 games. See if Reyes tries to swipe one here with 2 out.
Good time to do it. Pretty quick home. No, not really.
He's not that quick home, but what he has done is, one, hold the baseball. He's had a pretty decent move to first. And then Feliciano, when he flew out the shortstop, he quick pitched him. So he's really varying his speeds.
And let's not forget, too, they've never faced this guy. You're feeling him out.
Pops out of the middle of Laird. No harm, 2-0. Well, remember, Galarraga started the year in the minor leagues. I mean, he was down in Toledo. They didn't call him up till the middle of May.
He had 7 starts down there, and he's his 7th in the major leagues.
So when he pitched his imperfect game, it was only his 3rd big league start of the season.
Well, that's easy, right?
Sure. There's a strike, 2-1.
Well, the problem for Galarraga is that he had such a great rookie season with 13 wins, but then he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, and they felt as though when he got back from that If he wasn't hurt, he wasn't at his best, and got off to a bad start.
And finished just 6-10 last year with a 5.64 ERA, and so he had no equity going into spring training and wound up starting the year in the minors.
So another reason, I know it's only once every 4 years, but can it? Can that darn World Baseball.
Knight gets under one to left center. Jackson comes circling in, a bad route as the wind grabbed it, and he picks it off to end the inning. Great circle route by Austin Jackson. 1-0 Detroit after 1.
Work. Sunglasses on top of the head, though. That'll get some. That'll get a bush leaguer out.
At least they're not upside down. Izanori Takahashi gave up a run in the first inning. They'll take on Brandon Inge, leading off in the second for Detroit. Mets will welcome in the Twins tomorrow night for the start of a 3-game series. The Twins just got swept by Milwaukee. Shut out today by Giovanni Gallardo.
Well, Ricky Weeks played a nice game in last night's game with 3 hits. He's starting to come around a little bit.
So the Tigers have a chance with a win tonight to creep within a half game of the Twins as those two teams continue to battle it out, with the White Sox coming quickly from behind.
You know, Milwaukee, when the Mets were there, made all those changes in their bullpen. It's starting to pay dividends.
John Axford's been terrific for them. Good changeup by Takahashi to start off Brandon Inge. Inge 2 for 6 in this series, hitting a .263. The White Sox beating the Braves today have now won 9 in a row. And after being dead and buried 2 weeks ago, they're now just 2.5 games out of first place.
No one's dead and buried unless you're the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, this baseball league, both the National and the American, if you go on a run, you're right back in it.
Parity.
Takahashi with 2 great changeups in this event. Head on Inge 1-2. Gerald Laird, the catcher, is on deck, and then Danny Worth here at the top of the second.
It's interesting, as a reliever, it seemed like Takahashi used his fastball much more to set up his changeup. Here as a starter, you see him pitching almost backwards. A lot of soft stuff early, and tries to surprise him with a fastball late.
There's the fastball. Reyes with a nice backhand stop. Time to plant and throw. And he gets safe at first. Close play. Samuel's going to come out to argue.
I thought he beat it, Gare. So used to look at the arm on Jose.
I thought he was in the air, Keith.
I thought he beat it. Oh, you're right. I'm wrong.
Tim Timmons, the first base umpire, making the call.
Oh, you got him. That's why they always tell you when you're running, never get that big leap when you go to first base. Stay level and run through the bag.
You got him.
There's the evidence.
That raised his arm.
Foot in air. It's right there, but the Tigers know all about not perfect calls at first base.
It's a shame, though, because, you know, it's such an excellent play. You like to see an out call on that.
So it's an infield hit for Brandon Inge, and the Tigers have the leadoff man on for the second straight inning. Gerald Laird hitting at 181. Although he's been hitting better of late, he's got a 5-game hitting streak going. I don't think that bad call would make up for Galarraga's bad call.
They need a gaggle of those calls to get close.
They need a gaggle. And a third of foul ball.
By the way, the game last night, Garrett, that was one of the finest games the Mets played, both offensively and defensively, I felt, all season. They were crisp in the field. A lot of it has to do with that young man right there throwing strikes, and the game was quick and moving right along, and your defense is on its toes. But the Mets just really played a very, very sharp game last night in every aspect.
Are you saying that now because you felt we didn't pay adequate attention?
I wasn't. I was paying attention to Jerry.
We missed you, Ronnie. Jerry
was really upset that you weren't here.
Well, you guys were great. It was fantastic to have those different kind of broadcasts and see. I didn't know he was that big of a fan.
Shallow center, on comes Feliciano, and he makes the running grab to throw to first base, and Inge gets back.
You know what I mean by that is that there's a lot of celebrities that are fans of their team, and you know they a lot of times you hear about the PR they do about how much they love this team or that. He really is a fan, and just listening to him talk with you guys about who his favorite players are, you know, why do they do this, different things that I found very interesting. He kind of personified what Mets fans are all about.
Well, he didn't want to talk about the show. He just wanted to talk baseball. We tried to get him to kind of get him to go. You know, the people out there probably want to hear. He wanted to talk baseball.
I'm trying to push him in that direction.
He wants to do exactly what you and I do every night, Keith. Comedy color.
That's right. Very good, RJ.
Danny Wirth, the shortstop, hitting at 261. 1 for 3 in this series. Made his big league debut in the middle of May. Down the right field line. Long run back for Frank Corey. Won't get it. One hop against the wall. Inge to third. Wirth heads to second. Slides in with a double. So Danny Wirth with an opposite field 2-base hit. His third double of the year. And the Tigers are in business again. Second and third, one out.
Another pitch up in the strike zone. Takahashi has to be downstairs, particularly with that changeup. Watch, he wants this pitch down. Oh, that's got too much plate, too. That's right down Broadway. He's lucky he was set up, Wirth, to go the opposite field, because that was a pitch to wail on.
So now you get the pitcher up there. Armando Galarraga 0 for 5 in his career. The Mets will bring the infield in. Second and third, one out.
Galarraga's saying, well, come on, I've had 5 at-bats. First pitch, changeup, but that's what happens when you get ducks on the pond.
Hey, you think you're going to get a fastball?
If you're Galarraga, what do you think? Just trying to make some kind of contact?
Just trying to make contact. You're hoping that, honestly, that even if you get jammed, you hit something over the infield that's drawn in.
No, not like that.
In defense of Galarraga, he's in that other league with a DH.
He's got nice batting gloves, though.
Well, there he is.
Barely broken in. Gone sitting out tonight. He felt something in the cage before the game yesterday, and then felt it again in the 5th inning. So he came out after when his turn was coming up the next time. They pulled him out of the game.
Well, I know the core is very important for any athletic endeavor, but I never did core, and I never pulled a muscle in my torso. And you can see right there the discomfort. And the coaches used to walk by. You can see right there, too, he's hurting. In spring training, when we had calisthenics, and they'd walk by, and I'd do my sit-ups. If they were looking at me, and the minute they'd turn their back, I'd lay down.
Strike 3 call. Galarraga down looking. Takahashi gets the strikeout, his second. So you're saying you were a stealth exerciser.
Oh, I did all the other ones. I concentrated on my stretching. But
if he was at Jack LaLanne, he'd be in the back row.
You could not pay me enough money to do sit-ups.
Here's Austin Jackson with 2 out and 2 in scoring position. Jackson walked, stole a base, scored a run on the first.
Especially after a night out.
In spring training.
And curveball line right to Davis to end the inning. So the Tigers get runners to second and third, can't get them in. Still 1-0 Detroit. Jason Bay to lead off the bottom of the second. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Only 7 days left until the grand opening of the Manhattan location off the FDR Drive at 117th Street. Go to mybobs.com for details.
Did they put Bob on the 25-man roster? He's in uniform.
No, that would be Tolley. Is on today.
Have we seen him yet?
I don't know.
The press release we got said he was available for the game. That was 5 minutes before the game started. I don't know if he's flying in or if he's already arrived. Jason Bay muscles one out to left center field. Jackson going back and picks it off for the out.
Just got it in enough. Jammed Jason enough.
The 2 balls that Jackson has run down in the outfield that make you think this might not be the easiest night to play center field.
Yeah, it's kind of swirling the wind. It's interesting for Jason Bay, though, with the frustration and trying to get it going. That ball's off the left center field wall in Fenway Park.
You can just see it's just
eating at him, right?
It's eating at him. Yeah. He's been so even keel all year, but I've noticed the last 10 days it's just really starting to get under his skin. And it's tough. I mean, here we are almost out of June.
He's got 4 homers and 29 RBIs.
But you know something? He comes to the park every day, doesn't complain, runs everything out, plays an excellent left field.
And helps that the team is winning.
Yep, exactly.
1-2 to Francoeur. And Frenchie goes down. First strikeout for Galarraga.
Well, they've had the same game plan with Frenchie the whole series. I can't get ahead and not throw him another strike.
A lot of breaking stuff. Pick the first pitch.
First strikeout for Galarraga, who averages just 3.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's the 4th lowest in the majors among starting pitchers. Here's Blanco, starting the 2nd straight game. Rod Barajas woke up this morning with back spasms. And enough of a concern that the Mets made the roster move to bring Tolley here, because the one position where you just can't afford to have a guy completely unavailable is catcher. So there was enough of a concern to get a 3rd catcher here. And it cost Raul Valdez a roster spot. He got optioned to Buffalo, so the Mets are 1 pitcher short of the bullpen.
Well, Barajas said that in emergency he could catch, but the problem is with back spasms, it could get worse as time goes on during the day.
1-2 to Blanco. And, you know, Henry Blanco is a tremendous backup, but you just don't want to play him too many days in a row. He is 38 years old.
Galarraga has dropped down 2 times now from the side, both good fastballs. It won't work unless he drops down and throws a slider occasionally.
He better locate it, too, because it stays flat.
Broken back, shallow center. Out goes the shortstop Worth. Side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Galarraga. He's set down 6 in a row. There's a lot of butter on that cord, don't you think? Well, you can talk baseball with SNY's Bobby Ojeda during this 3rd inning. Just go to SNY.TV, click on the chat link, and join the conversation. It's Chat Live with Bobby O, presented by Verizon, only on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. And you notice it's not Bobby at the computer, it's Ted Bird manning the computer for Bobby.
Of course. Was that a live shot?
Yes. He's sitting there waiting for people to...
But Ted's being Bobby's caddy right there? Is that what he's doing?
He probably types a lot faster than Bobby does. Ryan Rayburn leads off the third inning against Takahashi. Did you see Bobby doing the Cyclones game the other night with Kevin?
No, I missed it. I didn't know.
He did a great job.
Did he? I'm not surprised.
Good for your job.
Yeah. No, Spaniards stick together. We had the 3 Caballeros on those 86 team. The 3 Spaniards was Aguilera, Bobby O, and myself.
2 of you got World Series victories that year.
That's right.
Rayburn pulls one foul, 1-2.
Yeah, well, most people forget that Aggie got the win in Game 6.
Well, yeah.
He put him in position to come back.
Yeah.
It happens.
And I forget how Roger got the win, because Roger left everything out there on that Game 6 in Houston, remember?
Yeah.
He didn't have a great World Series, but he got a W.
And Rayburn takes off the plate, 2-2.
Takahashi now, first 11 batters, he's thrown 9 first pitch strikes.
Just off the plate, 3-2.
Getting ahead has not been Takahashi's problem. Putting these Tigers away has been a problem early.
Roger got the win in Game 7, despite giving up a couple of runs. He was pitcher of record.
Did he come in after Sid?
He came in after Sid.
Yeah. Sid was the MVP of that pitching staff that day.
Well, Roger, what in Game 6 in Houston, he went, 5 innings of relief?
5 innings.
And a shutout ball, by the way, folks.
I think he only gave up 1 hit.
And I think
no walks.
Yep, and I think he left it all there. That was an unusually long outing for him.
Yes.
I mean, that late in the season. There's Rod. Always cheerful.
Glad to see you can stand up. Sometimes you get those back spasms. It's hard to do just about anything.
It's hard to put your clothes on.
God, he's clothed.
Maybe he has a dresser.
Tell you what, I've got back issues. No fun.
8th pitch coming to Rayburn. Takahashi can't put him away.
Up. You never want to throw the changeup up, particularly in the letters, because it just comes in like a big watermelon.
Well, when he was relieving, Takahashi did a nice job when he got to 3-2, throwing that fastball away from the right-handed hitters and letting them hit it to center field. Not doing it as much now.
Comes inside and misses, ball 4. And so for the 3rd straight inning, the Tigers have a leadoff base runner. Here's your upcoming schedule. Remember, all Mets games on SNY are available in HD, presented by IOTV. And if you're not near a TV, listen to every Mets game on Sports Radio 66, WFAN. The Twins are coming to town. Mike Pelfrey against Kevin Slowey tomorrow night. Then day games Saturday and Sunday. Mets go to Puerto Rico to play 3 with the Marlins.
That's right.
And then in D.C. for 4 over the July 4th weekend.
And that's a 4-hour flight back from San Juan to D.C.
Ordonez drives one deep toward the left field corner, headed to the wall. It's out of here. Maglio Ordonez with a 2-run homer, his 10th of the year, to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead. Ordonez had been hot coming into this series. The Mets had held him down the first 2 games, and he struck out his first time tonight. But he jumps on the first offering from Takahashi to make it 3-0 Detroit.
And I believe this was a changeup, and I believe it's middle end. Yes, it is, and that's going to get you hurt.
Especially when you got a veteran hitter. A lot of times they will just sit on a pitch. It looked like Ordonez just sitting first pitch changeup. IOTV pitch differential. One side of the plate's where Blanco wanted it. The other side of the plate's where it went.
Glad to see you're enjoying the pitch differential. Pulled down to third. Backhand play by Wright. And throws out Cabrera for the first down.
Nope. Both walks from Takahashi have wound up scoring, and it's the way it goes so far.
I would say Wago in Japanese.
No, tell me.
I have no idea. testing your language skills.
No. He'll have it for the next Takahashi start.
I bet you will have it in the next 2 minutes. Here's Brennan Bosch, who popped up to short his first time up. Lined into right field and a base hit. So that's 3 straight hitters after that leadoff walk who have gone after the first pitch. Ordonez with the home run, Cabrera the ground out, and now Bosch with the base hit. It's 5 hits now on Takahashi.
Ronnie, it seems to me now Takahashi is not overpowering. But it really seems like he's real short on his fastball today, velocity-wise.
I agree, and the changeup seems to be the same speed it's been all season long, but you can tell by the way he's not using his fastball that he doesn't like it early in the game.
So now Brandon Inge, who had an infield hit, and he takes a curveball up and in. And the beat out a ground to short, on which he was out. Called safe. It's a big picture of him. 1-1 to end. Huge scoreboard with the big facial likenesses didn't come into being until after you guys stopped playing.
Thank God.
Imagine what that's like.
Oh, Ronnie, you would have been heartthrob.
I mean, every player that's on it, I'm sure that they look much better in person, but they all look kind of silly in the picture. I can't believe I'm taking this picture.
3-1 now to Inge. Couldn't be a narcissist because you're staring at your picture instead of concentrating on the game.
Right.
It's okay if you're a narcissist, as long as you don't have an.
Inge's bat flies into the stands, creating a souvenir for that gentleman.
Did he catch? Oh, nice. Very nice.
Look at the 2 ladies behind him. He's all excited. He's got the bat. Can't wait to swing it. The 2 ladies behind him said, "Do you realize that bat almost hit us?"
Whoa. Nice.
Nice carry him off the seat.
Glove save. No, it doesn't look right in your hands.
Hey, I'm on TV. 3-2 now. Bosch not running, outside ball 4. And so Takahashi's troubled inning continues. His 3rd walk of the night, his 2nd in this inning, and Dan Warthen's going to pay a visit.
You know, Danny's coming out, but this might be one of those games where, you know, you might want to get the bullpen up because he just, you know, it just doesn't look right today.
Whitey Herzog always said, and of course, those St. Louis teams that I played for Whitey and we played against had great bullpens. He always felt that he would have observed the pitcher very carefully, Ron Guerra, in the first 3 innings, and if he felt they didn't have it, and it was 3-0, he wasn't going to let that game go 6-0. Because my team can come back 3-0 with 6 more times come up at bat. Because if it gets 5, 6, 7, I'm out of the game.
Do you think the fact that the Mets are 1 pitcher short in their bullpen will have any impact on Jerry's calls tonight?
Yeah, it could. It definitely could, because Valdez would be a guy that you would use in this kind of situation, maybe. But
Valdez is now in Buffalo.
You've got 3, no off days, so could.
However, most of the bullpen rested this night. Only Frankie Rodriguez pitched. Here's Gerald Laird with 2 on and 1 out.
Nieve went 2 1/3 in the first night of the series, and everybody else, Parnell and Igarashi, only went 1 inning. So it's a rested bullpen.
Danny Worth on deck. Tommy Parnell.
Yeah.
1 appearance since coming back from Buffalo and looked good. And Takahashi can't get that inside corner. And it's 2-0.
I think he he recognizes the fact, Ron, that he's short on his fastball and he has to really paint the corners.
Yeah, he's trying to be too precise with that fastball. If you don't have a good one, it's the opposite. Don't try to be precise. Make sure every time you throw it, it's strike, so it sets up your other pitches.
Or it can get you an early shower.
Had those before.
Get that fastball out away from Laird. Bosch is at second, Inge at first with one out. Tigers scored a run in the first. They've got two here in the third on a Magalio Ordonez 2-run homer.
I think instead of concentrating on in and out on the corners for Takahashi, he should concentrate with all his pitches down. Fastball down, changeup down. If he gets that fastball down, you have a chance for Laird to hit into a double play.
To Laird. The runners go, and it's pulled down to third, right at the back, and right beat him there. He does, and the throw for the double play. Quick work by David Wright to get to third base before Brennan Bosch, who was on rushing, trying for the double steal, and the 5-5-3 double play ends the inning. Bang bang play. Week continues this week, and today the Mets visited a Midtown Manhattan animal shelter to support the Mayor's Alliance for NYC's Animals, coalition of more than 160 animal rescue groups and shelters to end the killing of healthy and treatable cats and dogs. And Jeff Francoeur, Frankie Rodriguez, Mike Pelfrey all on hand to help out there. Ruben Tejada leads off in the home third inning. Tejada is riding a 7-game hitting streak. 2 for 8 in this series. So he's held his own at the plate while he continues to perform admirably at second base, which it looks like he'll be doing for quite some time to come. So we asked what the Japanese word for fuego was. That means game. And our researcher heard it as in fuego.
Really?
That is the translation for on fire, fuego. But we don't need that.
No.
So we sent them back.
Okay.
The Japanese word for game is shiai.
Shiai baseball.
Sounds like a Islamic sect.
Something like that. But not quite.
No.
talk about Takahashi's 22nd Shiai.
There you go.
Sometimes it just takes a little long. Tejada floats one out to shallow right, and Ordonez playing very shallow. Puts it away for the first out. Well, Kevin Burkhardt is. How are you, Kevin?
You know, I'm hanging out here in the second deck in the outfield. Just I was walking around, and this seat felt right, so I'm here. I don't know how to say thank you, Gary, in Japanese, so thank you, Gary, for that very nice throw, by the way.
Domo arigato.
Thank you. Thank you, Ronnie.
You don't feel threatened up there, Kevin?
No, it's very peaceful out here.
Good.
You know, I have lots of leg room and arm room. It's just it was calling my name. I like it. I may stay here. You know, we've talked a lot, guys, about going down to the minors as a starting pitcher to get yourself right. Obviously, with the Oliver Perez situation, the Tigers have done it twice. Max Scherzer went down after his first 4 starts of the year and is back pitching well. And, of course, they just sent Rick Porcello, who had a great first year last year at age 20, and he went down. He was struggling mightily. And I talked to Scherzer about that and about the philosophy and what you think of as a player when you're asked to do that. And, you know, Scherzer's story is pretty interesting. His first 4 starts of the year, 18 innings in those 4 starts, he allowed 27 runs. And he said, you know, it wasn't a confidence issue, and I felt good. He said, the thing that alerted me was, you know, my velocity was a tick off as Worth comes in and makes the putout. And Takahashi retired. So what he said, though, because of the velocity, he looked at tape, and he found that his windup was a little long and his arm was actually starting to hook behind his back. So he found that out, and literally he got out of the tape room, and then he was pulled aside and said, hey, you're going down to AAA. So he said, unfortunately, I didn't find it out early enough. But he said the key for me was to eat your humble pie and go down and work. So I went down and I worked. I had a really good couple of bullpen sessions, got in the game, and worked hard. If you're able to take it, it was a great thing for me, guys.
Well, it takes a lot of maturity to go down there when you think you should be in the big leagues. And congrats to Scherzer, who's striking out the world every time he pitches. And Kevin, that seat you're sitting in 19, that's called the Mark Reynolds seat. That's where he hit that home run.
Yeah, I might actually bounce and still be going back there somewhere.
I always find it very interesting that, you know, I gave up 27 runs in the first 14, 15 innings, and my confidence wasn't shook. You got to be kidding me. You're getting rocked.
Must be a very confident young man.
Jeez.
Remember when Scherzer first came up with Arizona?
I think his first relief appearance was like 4 1/3, struck out 10 or something like that. Something crazy.
Introduced himself to the major leagues in rather profound fashion. But it doesn't always come quite that easily. Reyes misses at a pitch at his feet, 2-2.
Hey, guys. You know, I asked Max, I said, hey, you know, if this had happened when you first came up, if you had 4 starts like that were disastrous, how would you have handled it? And he said, I don't know if I would have, to be honest with you. And, you know, we saw their young guy, Spores, come in the other day and just have an awful time hitting the first 2 batters. He said, you know, you'll find out right away because you need to find a way to deal with it to go out and pitch again. If you go out there thinking you're going to have a bad outing again, you're finished before you even get started.
Well, he's got a bright future ahead of him, Max Scherzer. He's one of those guys, not only does he have great stuff, but he throws very unusual motions. So no one else throws like him, which always tends to throw hitters off.
We'll say Reyes has been the Mets' only base runner tonight, walk leading off the first inning. So Rocco's yet to allow a hit. Reyes pops it up. Worth with the angle coming over, calls off Inge. And the Mets are down 1-2-3. 9 in a row now for Galarraga after that walk to Reyes in the first. Boy, there's always a line out there. Orlando Resort, where you'll enjoy 2 amazing theme parks, nonstop nightlife, and a 3-night stay on site at the exciting Hard Rock Hotel. All you have to do is go to sny.tv/Toyota and enter the Toyota Fan Flyaway Sweepstakes today. Danny Worth leads off in the 4th inning. The Tigers with a 3-0 lead. Worth doubled against the right field wall his first time up. And Takahashi finally paints the inside corner with a fastball. He's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. The problem is he's throwing too many pitches after that. 61 pitches through the first 3 innings. And again, he's ahead 0-2. This has been where the difficulties started. Got the pitcher Galarraga on deck, and then Austin Jackson for the Tigers in the 4th. And Worth pops one up, shallow center. Tejada out, Feliciano in to slide and make the grab. Beautifully done. A long run for Jesus Feliciano for the first out.
Well, you can't even see him at the top of your screen. Here it comes, and he gets a good quick jump.
Home Depot doing more on defense.
Not much more I can add to that, Gary. You called it. Nicely done.
Well, we talked about how he's been playing deeper than Pagan, and so that made it a tougher play.
The best part of that play, though, being a center fielder, he took charge, and that's a good thing.
So now Galarraga. That's the first time tonight that Takahashi has been able to retire the leadoff hitter in an inning. Just a little lazier. Well, Takahashi's now faced 18 batters and thrown 14 first pitch strikes.
Well, this is where you're supposed to make hay in the National League anyway, even though you're facing an American League team, the 8-9 hitters.
Galarraga caught looking his first time up, still looking for his first big league hit. And another 0-2 count. Jackson on deck.
We're very close to the halfway mark, aren't we, Gary? Not in the game this season. It's flown by. After April was a marathon, it seemed, but May and June have flown.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back outs for Takahashi to start the 4th inning. Tomorrow, the Mets send Mike Pelfrey to the mound to shut down Justin Morneau and the Twins as they start their interleague series, their last interleague series. Here at Citi Field. Mets Twins coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 only on SNY.
You know, Mike Pelfrey and the staff are going to have to account for Mr. Mauer as well as Morneau.
He's pretty good, that MVP guy.
Yeah, that guy. Fishing in Cabo.
Did you see what the Twins did last night? I didn't see their lineup today, but last night they played Michael Kadire at third base. First time he played there in about 5 years.
Dyer's a guy that's moved all around. He's played first, he's played some second base this year, now third. They've always used him as an outfielder.
That was an accommodation to the National League Park so they could get Jason Krumel and Delman Young in the lineup at the same time with the corner outfield spots. And of course, they also have Jim Thome, who they use as a part-time DH and pinch hitter. The Twins' offense has not been in high gear.
Well, the Mets have been fortunate. They caught the Baltimore team that's had a tough year, a Cleveland team that wasn't catching the ball. Maybe they'll catch a Twins team that's a little down offensively right now.
2-2 to Austin Jackson, who walked and scored a run in the first, lined out to first base to end the second. Takahashi looking for his first clean inning of the night. Two to Jackson. Just missed 3-2.
You can see Takahashi fighting himself. He's just kind of wondering when he's going to be able to kick it in.
Two, and it's in there for a call strike 3. Picked off that knee-high outside corner. 4 strikeouts for Takahashi, 2 in the inning. Let's try and get something started in the bottom of the 4th. prices at Mets.com. Tickets for upcoming Mets home games at Citi Field are available for $19. Get your great seats direct from the source, Mets.com. Jesus Feliciano leads off in the home fourth inning. Mets looking for their first hit against Armando Galarraga. And a fastball for a strike. Feliciano popped up to short his first time up. Playing for Angel Pagan, who's sitting out with some spasms in his side that he suffered last night. Hopes to be back in the lineup either tomorrow or Saturday. So Feliciano getting the opportunity to hit in that 2-hole in front of Wright Davis here in the fourth. Jesus 3 for 17 in his brief big league career. Out to left field, and Bosch is right there, but he misplayed it. Feliciano to second. And he's in standing with a fortunate double. Brennan Bosch, known for his bat, not for his glove, and he just botched it.
Well, what you didn't see there was that he broke in and then was hesitant to break out. He then reacted slowly, and that's called a misjudgment. A lot of time that line drive hit right at you is the one that's the most difficult.
So the first hit for the Mets, it's not subject to replay, is it?
No. First double for Feliciano.
Yeah, his first big league extra base hit. Well, I mean, the first hit against Galarraga in the game against Cleveland sparked a replay controversy. Get a replay for the score, maybe try and get an error call. Here's David Wright, and he takes a strike, 0-1. We haven't talked very much about Galarraga tonight and the way he handled the entire Jim Joyce bad call situation, but it was one of the most heartwarming stories to come along in baseball in a long time. Now, this young man from Venezuela so gracefully dealt with what could have been such an uncomfortable situation.
In fact, the next day he brought out the lineup card, and Jim Joyce, who was very emotional at the time, it was a great way to do it because they were booing Joyce when he came out of the tunnel, but once Galarraga met Joyce, and all there were cheers. So it was just a great showing by the young Galarraga. Kudos to you.
And General Motors got a good mileage out of it by presenting him with a red Corvette that next day.
There it was. There's the moment. He looks like just a nice, easy-going young man.
You know, and even at the moment that it happened, when the call was made, just the bemused look on his face rather than ranting and raving. Right. Certainly, you know, many of us might have in a similar circumstance. There was such a calm about him that really belied the incredible emotional quality of the situation.
It was almost like he was looking at Joyce, what you said, the amusement. Wait a minute, do you realize I just made this out? Oh my God, I think you missed the call. You know I'll get the next 27 out if I have to. He was locked in that night.
He did get the next man out.
He did.
1-2 to David Wright. Fastball misses 2-2.
Galarraga reminds me a little bit of a youngish Esteban Loaiza, the way he pitches. He's a big man, but not a power pitcher. Tries to sink it and cut it. Tries to keep you off balance, works quickly.
Normally gets more than his share of ground balls, but only one ground ball tonight so far. Everything else in the air. Just off the corner, and now it's 3-2 to Wright.
That's the problem these American League teams run when they come in here to play National League Baseball. You got a guy like Bosch that you can't DH any of the nights, so he's got to be your main outfielder.
And then your defense obviously suffers.
3-2 to David. Line left field, falling in, base hit. Feliciano stops at third, and the Mets have runners at the corners with nobody out. A 3-2 breaking ball, and David handled it well. His fifth hit in this series in 9 at-bats.
Well, he drops down a little bit here, and that's a helicopter. Stayed inside, not much of a break. Not a great read from Feliciano. That's a base hit all the way. That's just not knowing where your left fielder is. Got a score on that base hit.
Davis, the tying run at the plate in a 3-0 game. Ike flying to center his first time up. 5 for 11 in this series. Well, the Mets scored 14 runs on Tuesday night, their biggest output of the season. And Davis was right in the middle of that. Infield back for the Tigers. They'll look to turn two. See to run happily. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Right now, Keith, Galarraga's throwing some hangers.
It's right down Broadway. 84 mile an hour. Swung right under it.
What was that?
It's supposed to be a little slider, and it just spun in the middle.
He's starting to drop down that slider, and that's why he lives in that down break. It's staying flat.
It's more like a cutter with a slider. At the feet of Davis, 1-1. Ike with 8 home runs, 31 runs batted in. Well over 200 at bats in his major league career. And the team's starting to get a book on Ike, and he's starting to make some adjustments. Double play ball. If Rayburn hurries, gets the out at second. Wirth's return in time for the double play as Feliciano comes in with the first man run. It's 3-1 Detroit. No RBI for Davis on the 4-6-3 double play.
Nice turn here. This ball's not hit sharply. Watch Rayburn come hard in. It's not hit hard. Quick release. That was the whole difference right there. Rayburn recognizing he's got to come get it quick. Nice pair.
Jason Bay flying to center his first time up. Jason's the only Met who had faced Galarraga before tonight. Now hitless in 3 career at-bats against him. And it's too high, 2-0.
Now, Gary, when you were a spectator, did you like these warm, sultry nights to sit in the stands?
You know me. I love hot weather. Ball 4. And Bay is aboard. I only had 3 balls on my scoreboard.
2. Must have missed a pitch. Maybe we didn't. We weren't paying attention. Well,
no argument from the Tigers.
Come on, guys in the truck. Go over that at bat. We must have missed a pitch. Okay. You're right, Keith. He's getting under that pitch.
Yep.
Can't get any kind of downward action. I don't like him off to the side, over the top. I'm sure that's what Rick Knapp is telling him right now. Francoeur coming to the plate. Rick Knapp, pitching coach for the Tigers. 41st round pick for the Texas Rangers.
And that's Kevin James, King of Queens. Loudon at that. So now Francoeur, the tying run at the plate, just struck out his first time up. Jefferson a little skid the last few days, 1 for his last 15. Down to Inge, goes the short way to get the force play to end the inning. The Mets cash 1 run, and that's all. Through 4, 3-1 Detroit. 20 or more wins for both the Mets and the Tigers.
Is that career wins?
Yeah.
Good question.
It's not the same guy who was the answer on Tuesday night, is it?
I don't think so. I don't think he didn't win that many with the Mets, did he?
I don't think he did.
Lois didn't win 20 with the Mets, did he?
No, I don't think he did.
Might have lost 20.
Well, that was an easy thing to do with those squads. They were El Stinko.
Oh, I think I know.
Okay. More recent vintage?
Teammate of yours, right?
Oh, that's right.
Ready for Hojo?
Yes.
Right?
Known affectionately as CC. Crazy crowd. Oh.
There's Ryan Rayburn, who has singled and walked. And he drives one to deep left field. Bay looking up, and it's out of here.
Wow.
A line drive home run for Ryan Rayburn, just his second of the season. Second home run off Takahashi tonight, and it's 4-1 Detroit. And a shot.
Looks like the same, I bet you the same pitch that he threw Ordonez. We'll take a peek and eventually we'll get there.
Keith, I think this one might have been a fastball. Let's see.
I think you're right.
Man.
Well, Rayburn's got power. 16 home runs last year and only 261 at bats. Just his second of this season. And it's 4-1.
Too much plate. How do you say mistake in Japanese?
Takahashi had given up only 4 home runs this season before tonight, but a pair in this game.
Well, there it is, right down Broadway, and that is your IOTV pitch differential, folks.
So a rough night at the office for Takahashi. Here's McAvey Ordonez, who homered his last time up. Late on that fastball, and it's 1-2.
Tough part of that one was the Mets had scratched back for a run, and right away.
You always want, when your team scores, you always want to run a goose egg up there.
And a check swing foul ball.
And if you're a starting pitcher with this Mets team, you've always got to think to yourself, okay, if I get off to a slow start, I got to hold the team in the game because they've done such a great job all year of fighting back.
Hit hard. Base hit for Ordonez. They hit some shots against Takahashi tonight. That's the 7th Tigers base hit.
Well, this lineup's pretty impressive if you think about it. Rayburn with a single walk and a home run. Austin Jackson, Ordonez, Cabrera, Bosch hitting against left-handers. Inge with his power.
I think it would be doubly tough on a left-hander to beat this club.
And then the other piece about Detroit is that, and we haven't seen it in this series so far, but their bullpen, especially the back end of their bullpen, has been terrific this year, anchored by Jose Valverde, who has had a fine year as the Detroit closer.
16 out of 17 save opportunities.
He blew his first
one, and he's run off 16 straight.
Cabrera late on the fastball, and it's 1-1. Cabrera drove in the first run with a sacrifice fly. Ball was in the catcher's glove. Looking change up.
I think he was looking the other way, that's for sure.
Hey, Dano.
1-1 to Cabrera with Ordonez at first, and it's up and in. 2-1. Well, Takahashi using more fastballs now. Brendan Bosch on deck. Curveball slips outside. 3-1.
And he hasn't gotten his curveball over at all. He's been trying to spot that fastball, Ronnie, and trying to get it in, and he's missing. And it's just been really, he's trying to find it, and it's just been hard to find.
know what he's trying to do out there. Oh, good pitch.
Elmer descends, first man up in the Mets bullpen, which is interesting since Elmer has been a 7th and 8th inning man of late.
All of a sudden, Elmer in the middle, early.
Well, part of that has to do with Valdez being sent down today to make room for Josh Tolley. Part of it has to do with the return of Bobby Parnell, who now goes into that 7th and 8th inning equation. 3-2. Cabrera lines a base hit. 3 straight hits to start the inning for the Tigers, who after a really good changeup, Takahashi can't put Cabrera away. Dan Warthen wearing out a path tonight.
And he's he's not going to take his time. You know what you don't see today? I used to always, when a pitching coach or a manager walks out, it used to be a time when if you wanted to get your bullpen up, you know, no one's telling you to trot out there. You can take the slowest walk you want. It's called the Pinella now. Lou takes forever. Really what they're trying to do when you want your pitcher to get ready quickly, you have the third baseman or first baseman come in and talk, and as soon as they leave, then you come out and talk, and then by the time you get out of there, your guys should be ready to go. I've seen cases where it's been the infielders go talk to a pitcher, the pitching coach takes the slow walk out and talks to him, walks back into the dugout, and then there you go. Then the manager comes out. You've got your guy loose. There you go. There it is.
Well, Gil was lucky. He didn't have to do it too often.
Right-hander.
So now Brennan Bosch will step in. Bosch is 1 for 2. By the way, I have it on good authority that as far as the trivia question is concerned, we're on the wrong track.
It's not Walt Terrell.
Only had 19 wins as a Met.
Detroit.
Details.
Did Roger Craig ever pitch for the Tigers? No.
I don't think he won 20 as a Met.
He was a pitching coach for the Tigers. He lost 20.
Yeah. On a couple of occasions. 1-0 to Bosch. 8 hits now for the Tigers and 4 innings plus against Takahashi. And this could be his last batter. Up to 87 pitches now. And now behind 2-0.
This young man's going to be coming out of his shoes on this pitch. Well, not being a power hitter, a home run hitter, I always love this situation with a pitcher in trouble 2-0. A lefty, I'd look away, try to get a fastball away for a strike, gap him opposite field, at least attempt to.
Blanco moves away, and it's on the outside corner, 2-1. Brendan Bosch, number 3 pick by the Tigers back in 06 out of Cal Berkeley. Really had not done much in the minors until he had 28 home runs in Double-A last year. And I don't think anybody expected him to get off to this kind of start in the major leagues. But he has been fantastic with the bat. 3-1.
It's amazing how some young guys, they get their shot. It takes them 2 or 3 times, so they never do it. And some other players get their shot and they're here to stay. I mean, like Davis, who knows what's going to happen, but you know, he got his shot. He's made the most of it.
Brendan Bosch is no Don Bosch. Here's the 3-1. And it's on the outside corner. Longtime Met fans will remember that there was a year that the Mets had this phenom coming up through the minor leagues, center fielder named Don Bosch.
Remember that?
Didn't quite work out.
Try the kibosh.
6th full count of the night for Takahashi. He was already walked 3 and given up 8 hits. 3-2 to Bosch. And just missed. Takahashi hand on hip. You rarely see that kind of display from him. But now the bases are loaded with nobody out, and Jerry Manuel's going to pull the plug, it appears.
There he comes. It missed.
4th walk of the night for Takahashi. And so with the Mets already Down 4-1, bases loaded, nobody out. Mets are going to make a double switch. Chris Carter will come in to play right field, and Elmer DeSenz will come in to pitch. The call to the bullpen brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Short night for Takahashi. Elmer DeSenz comes in to pitch to Brandon Inge with the bases loaded and nobody out, and he misses high for ball one. Chris Carter now playing right field. He'll bat ninth, and DeSenz sitting in the sixth spot as Frank Gore came out.
DeSenz gave up a couple of runs to the Yankees in his first appearance for the Mets this season, and then 9 scoreless after that.
It's been a while since Elmer's been in the game, going back to last Friday night against the Yankees when he faced only one batter through one pitch and gave up a double to Francisco Cervelli. Ordonez at third, Cabrera at second, and Bosch at first with nobody out. The Tigers trying to break this game open. Already leading 4-1. And Inge takes it away. 2-1. DeSenz has inherited 7 runners this year and stranded 6, but there's no harder job than stranding runners when you come in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Gerald Laird on deck. And Inge takes it low, and now DeSenz behind 3-1. Takahashi worked 4 innings plus, allowed 8 hits. The 4 runs so far, responsible for the 3 on base. Walked 4, struck out 4, allowed 2 home runs. His roughest start as a Met. And now DeSenz has to throw a strike to a dangerous hitter, Brandon Inge. And he missed with it. Ball 4 to force in a run. And it's 5-1 Detroit as Ordonez comes in to score. So the walks, which have abated somewhat for the Mets lately during this hot streak, are coming back to bite. Mets are still second in the National League in most walks allowed coming into the night. 5 in this game. And now this game in danger of getting away as Gerald Laird steps in. Laird is flying to center and grounded into a double play. Base is still loaded, nobody out. And DeSenz gets a strike. Cabrera, Bosch, and Inge now the base runners against 39-year-old Elmer DeSenz, who amazingly has never pitched for Detroit. Shallow center, On comes Carter and makes the sliding grab. And Cabrera, who didn't tag on the short pop-up, goes back to third. Chris Carter, not known for his defense, makes a nice play for the first out.
Nice slide.
So one away, and now Danny Worth, who was retired on a sliding catch by Jesus Feliciano his last time up. Worth is also double to right field, 1 for 2. So DeSen's a double play away from putting this rally down. 2 runs already home in the inning. Clearly, the lack of that extra arm in the bullpen has affected the way Jerry is utilizing his personnel in this inning. Not only the fact that he goes to DeSen's this early, but the fact that he felt the need to double switch Frank Core out of the game to keep DeSen's around for a while.
Well, this is a big at bat right here. A base hit right here busts this game open. You keep it 5-1, the team can come back.
Worth pops one up at foul ground. Blanco and Davis. Blanco can't get there.
Tough chance right here. Just not hit high enough.
Well, you know, the old Shea used to be able to bounce up against the padding and kind of give a body up. You can't do it now with that brick wall. No chance.
There's not enough air under that ball for Blanco to get there. Got 77 years in that battery. With DeSen's and Blanco. 1-2 to Worth, and he strokes the slider foul. Got the pitcher Galarraga on deck, so if you can take down Worth, certainly you'd have to feel DeSen's has a chance to avoid any further damage. On 1-2, Worth hits one off his leg. A foul ball.
Oh, it's off the shin bone, folks. Let me tell you something. That hurts.
Shook it off, though. It's a tough kid. You can see him walk around. And
like the two you've seen him over the years?
Don't give the pitcher any satisfaction. Just jump right back in there.
I never felt it was the pitcher that did that because it was off the bat. It hurts off your ankle, off the inside bone of your ankle. Oh, gosh, does that hurt.
Got a shortstop out of Pepperdine. Gets back in. Didn't even rub. 1-2. Broken back grounder to third. Right to second for one. Tejada to first. Not in time. And a run comes home to make it 6-1 Detroit. Now a broken bat grounder, and even after banking one off his shin, Worth ran hard enough to beat it out.
Well, David had two options here. He could have gone home. But I can see him going for the 2 here. Wasn't hit that slowly. You think you can turn it. Not a strong throw from Tejada. Not a good turn right there, and that's because of the good hard slide into second base by Inge.
So an RBI for Danny Worth, his 6th of the year. 3 runs home in the inning, 6-1 Detroit, and now Galarraga has reason to smile as he steps in, stake to a 5-run lead. He has struck out in his 2 at-bats tonight. Now 0 for 7 in his career.
Well, he has a play at home plate here. And when you throw home now, you're not going to get 2. The ball wasn't hit that softly, and David made the right play here. It's just a good hard slide into Tejada, and he didn't get much on the throw, and that was the difference right there.
To Galarraga. Keith, when you're making a decision like that, can you factor in the fact that you got the pitcher coming up next?
Well, it's now 6-1. You're at 5-1. I just felt it wasn't hit that softly. And you go for 2, you try to get out of the inning. But you've got the long throw for where David's at, and he's pretty much positioned where he was last play right now as far as his depth in the infield. And if you throw home, it's a long throw home. It's only going to be 1 out. I see your point, Gare. That's a very good point, Gare. But I still think he could have turned 2. Maybe with Castillo, you get that too.
Galarraga goes around, strike 3. He fans for the 3rd time, but now he's got himself a 5-run lead. The Tigers put up a 3 spot in the 5th with Ryan Rayburn getting it started with a line drive home run. Rayburn. Look back. Home runs by Nagle Ordonez and Ryan Rayburn en route to a 6-1 Detroit lead as the Mets come up to the bottom of the 5th. Don't worry. They may not win tonight, but it's a good season going on. Come to a few more home games, I'm sure you'll see a win.
A long way to go in this game.
Met fans can't lose hope.
That's right.
Not this year. It's not a hope-losing season.
That's a good way to get it started. You got the bottom of your order coming up. Get a couple guys on, bunt them over. Well, you're not going to bunt them over now with the double switch of Carter, but you got an extra bat down there at the bottom. Maybe get yourself a 2-3 run bomb.
Well, Galarraga started to look mortal in the 4th inning. Gave up 2 hits and a walk. Was helped out by a double play ball. Gave up his first run of the night. Blanco popped up to short his first time up. Very windy in the ballpark tonight. And yet, there are not the papers swirling around that we saw when it was cold and windy earlier in the season.
Well, I got stuck on the LIE coming in around Oyster Bay, where a lot of the street light went on the service road, thinking that I could dodge that exit 39 through exit 37 coming in, where it always bottles up, and I went on the service road.
Pulling a little right flank.
It was just as bad there because all the street lights were down and some trees were down.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're a very important guy.
Right.
And everybody in New York knows who you are. How come you can't get a police escort?
I don't like to roll my weight around.
Unless you have to.
And I'm very... only in special occasions. But it was a mess on the highway coming in.
I understand for us mortals getting stuck in traffic, but come on.
So I had to switch over to the Northern. And the Northern was, crowded, but it wasn't as bad. It took me 2 hours to get to the ballpark today.
1-2 to Blanco. Pulled down to third. And Brandon Inge makes the play. 1 out.
I'll tell you what, Inge has got a nice glove over there, doesn't he?
Makes it look easy.
Yeah, he's very smooth, makes all the plays.
Inge is a kid who started out as a catcher, didn't he? Catcher and played the outfield. And all those scrappy guys. Got all the tattoos there on the forearms.
He's now 33 years old. He's forged quite a nice career. Now Ruben Tejada, who flying to right his first time up. Mets have had only 2 hits in this game against Armando Galarraga. Speaking about Brandon Inge, let's check in with Kevin.
Talking to him today, guys, he had a very interesting take on the Mets and their play at Citi Field, and he started the conversation. He said, it sure looks like they really know how to play here now. This went back to the box, and Galarraga will take care of it himself. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, I have a feeling it was like our first year at Comerica, as the Mets were here at Citi Field. He said, I can tell you from our experience. Now, Comerica is still a big part, but obviously they moved the fences in. But when that park opened, he said, it actually turned into some sort of a game. Like we were all trying to beat the ballpark in some way because it was so ridiculous to try and hit a home run there. And it really took us a full year before they finally looked at each other and said, what are we doing? Let's just hit the baseball and go from there. So, and you know what? It was a pretty good comparison. I said I think a lot of that did happen, but he was just complimenting the Mets' style in this ballpark, and he thinks the Tigers had a similar growing pains in their ballpark, too.
Do you think you have to have the right personnel to be able to make that kind of adjustment?
I think it's up to the general manager to tailor his ball club after.
Chris Carter, a towering shot down the right field line. Ordonez over in the corner, and it's a foul ball. Moved off the front of the Pepsi porch there, but well foul.
You tailor, you're going to play half your games, most of your games in your home ballpark, obviously 81. So you want to tailor your team, get the most out of your team. There's Dave Dombrowski, the Tiger GM, for the ballpark you're playing. And I can think in terms of Whitey Herzog and the 80 Cardinals. The big ballpark, AstroTurf, speed, defense, not the power hitters, guys get hit and run, and good pitching.
Carter hits one the other way now, and Bosch moves back and makes the play on the warning track to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Galarraga. He's got a 6-1 lead after 5. And by Lowe's. Visit your local Lowe's to cast your Scott's MLB All-Star ballot and enter for a chance to win a VIP All-Star Week experience, compliments of Scott's. Austin Jackson leads off in the 6th inning against Elmer Sins and takes a strike. Sins came on, issued a bases-loaded walk in the 5th inning, then got the next 3 outs. Jackson shoots one off to Sins, deflects right to Tejada, who throws out Jackson for the first out. 1-4-3 put out. Chris Carlin standing by. Let's check in with him for a New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. Swept in that series, giving the Mets the opening, if they could win tonight, to take over first place in the NL East. Ryan Rayburn getting the start at second base tonight has had himself a fine night. Single, walk, home run. He's stolen a base. He's scored 2. He's driven in 1. Rayburn came in hitting just 184 with 1 home run in 98 at bats. Swing 2-0.
I know it's important for fans for your team to be in first place, but for the Mets trying to get to the All-Star break, they're 11 games over. Let's say they were to lose this game tonight. To get to 15 over when they make it to the break, I think it couldn't be happier. Beltran probably coming back, and Rayburn's having a night.
3rd hit of the night for Ryan Rayburn. Feliciano cuts it off nicely to hold him to a single. So a 1-out hit for Rayburn. They're the standings right now with the Mets. Technically the Mets are in first place right now because they have a better winning percentage than the Braves, but lots of change one way or another after tonight.
Yeah, the Phillies lurking. And you see the Marlins, talk of Bobby Valentine going to the Marlins.
It's fascinating to me because the Marlins chose this week to replace Freddie Gonzalez. Now, it's been rumored for some time that Jeffrey Loria, the owner, and David Sampson, the general manager, were disappointed in Freddie. Passed the mound right to Tejada on the bag, and they turn the broken back double play to end the inning. We'll talk more about the Florida situation when we come back. 6-1 Detroit, middle of the 6th. One of those 3 is the insider. Defensive change for the Tigers. Ramon Santiago comes in for defense. Ryan Rayburn had his night at the plate. Now it's Santiago's turn in the field. And Jose Reyes will lead off for New York in the home 6th inning, trying to get something started against Armando Galarraga, who's given up just 2 hits tonight. And Reyes takes a strike. Jose tonight is 0 for 1. He's walked and popped a short. We were talking right before the break about the Marlins and their decision to fire Freddie Gonzalez this week. It may just be a total coincidence, but you know, the Marlins are going to play 3 games in Puerto Rico against the Mets Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the man they promoted to be their interim manager was their AAA manager, Edwin Rodriguez, who was the first Puerto Rican-born manager in Major League history. At the same time, the Marlins are interviewing Bobby Valentine for their managerial job tomorrow. And you'd hate to think, I mean, you don't know this, but you'd hate to think that the Marlins only decided to make the move now so that Edwin Rodriguez would be their manager for the 3 games in Puerto Rico.
Boy, that would be awful if that's what it was. Disservice to Mr. Rodriguez.
I tell you what, that is for me, Florida would be a perfect fit for Bobby Valentine. The new stadium is going to be completed in how many seasons? 11?
2012.
12.
Year after that, Reyes draws the leadoff walk, 3rd given up by Galarraga. Well, there are a couple of pieces to that. One is that clearly the expectations of ownership in Florida are a lot higher than the talent level. They've got a $45 million payroll. They were forced by the Players Association to go out and spend money this last winter to get that payroll up to $45 million. And yet, Jeffrey Loria said publicly, we expect to win a championship.
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to do when you have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball.
And despite their young talent, they do have some young talent, but Freddie Gonzalez, as you see Bobby Parnell warming up, and with the win last night, the first one for Rodriguez, the Marlins have won 4 out of 5. I don't know how you can get much better than that.
Well, the irony of the entire thing is that by firing Freddie Gonzalez, the Marlins hand him to the Atlanta Braves, who all along, I think, have wanted Freddie to be the guy to replace Bobby Cox next year.
Yeah, there's not many managers who can almost anoint the next manager. But anyone who's down in Atlanta knows Bobby's affirmation for Freddie Gonzalez and his work ethic, and was the bench coach for Bobby for a few seasons. So it looks like Atlanta won't have any problem replacing their manager next season.
1-1 to Feliciano. Pulled through the hole, a base hit. Reyes around second. He'll go easily to third. And the Mets have runners at the corners with nobody out. Second hit of the night for Feliciano. And the Mets have something working here in the 6th.
Well, turns on that fastball. A nice little hole right there. When that first baseman holds on that runner.
So the Mets trying to break through. That's just their 3rd hit of the night. Feliciano has 2 of them, and David Wright has the other. A 4th inning single. Last time the Mets got 1st and 3rd and nobody out of the 4th inning, Galarraga got a double play ball to minimize the damage.
Well, the Tigers are going to concede, obviously, 5-run lead. They'd love to double play in a 6-2 ball game. The Mets would like to continue the rally.
David leading the National League in RBIs with 56. And he takes it off the plate for ball 1. The Detroit bullpen is quiet to this point. Only 78 pitches for Galarraga, working in the 6th inning, as he looks for his 3rd win of the year. He's had no decisions in each of his last 3 starts. Got knocked out in the 5th in his last start. Check swing. Did he go? They check it first, and he did swing, says Tim Timmons. 1-1.
Well, we'll take a peek right here. Let's see. Well, all right.
He went a lot further than he looked, didn't he?
He sure did. I think David was looking in there to try to make it a 3-run shot in a 6-4 Wago.
Chi. 1-1 to right. Pull down the left field line. That's a base hit going to the corner. Reyes is in to score. Feliciano to third. David Wright pulls in with an RBI double. And the Tigers' lead is trimmed to 6-2, and still nobody out. RBI number 57 for David Wright.
Keith, you were right. He got that pitch in.
And down. David loves that ball down. I know he's a sinker ball pitcher. But there's David just swinging a pretty good, not a bad pitch, let me tell you. David all over it. Look at the level of top hand, much more level swing. Not the big uppercut. And that's why we're seeing results from David in this hot streak.
21st double of the year for Wright. So Reyes has scored, and the Mets are 28-7 when Reyes scores this year. So Galarraga staggering a bit here in the 6th inning, still has a 4-run lead. Mike Davis will be coming up with 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
Well, he has 80 pitches in the ball game tonight in that perfect game that he pitched. 88 total for 9 innings.
His last start he had 88. He had 4 1/3. Mike tonight is flying out to center field. Hit into a double play. Brad Thomas, a right-hander. Thomas the left-hander, and Eddie Bonine the right-hander. Swinging a foul ball at the plate.
Big rip right there. Big rip. Oh, right down the pipe.
Direct shot on Gerald Laird's mask.
Oh, nice cut by Davis.
Feliciano at 3rd, Wright at 2nd, infield back with a 4-run lead. Nobody out. Galarraga gets ahead 0-2.
Well, they've just been throwing a lot of off-speed stuff to Davis, haven't they?
Especially if they get ahead, then they try not to throw any strikes.
Now the 0-2, and Ike hits a cue shot out to shortstop. A run will score, worth throwing across his body in time to get Davis. For the first out, Feliciano scores to cut the Detroit lead to 6-3. Ike's 32nd RBI of the year.
Well, I don't know how he did that. He got out in front, he cued it, didn't he?
Nice play by Worth. That had a lot of spin on it.
Like he threw a palm ball to first base, didn't it? So 1 out, a run in, 2 runs in the inning now. And Jason Bay, the batter. Bay is flied out and walked 0 for 1. And another good cut of the first pitch.
You see Jason Bay's reaction. As soon as he missed that pitch, it was almost, you got to be kidding me. How did I miss that one?
Well, he had a good rip at it, right down the pipe.
The pitcher spot is due up next, and Alex Cora has come out on deck to pinch hit. Bay bloops one shallow center. Going out is Santiago, but it falls for a hit. Around third is Wright trying to score. The throw by Jackson, not in time. Jason Bay with an RBI single, and it's 6-4.
A long time getting rid of this ball. Jackson and David made a great read. Don't slide head first, please. Please. He got a good read on the bloop, and that's why he scored. Good instincts.
David Wright, safe at home, safe and secure. New York Life.
Wow. Was that a Hammond organ?
The head first slide work there. That's David's mode of transportation when he's sliding at home plate. You know, the big play there was Austin Jackson assumed that Wright wasn't going to score.
3 runs have now scored in the inning. The tying run comes to bat. Now remember that the Mets double switched Frank Cora out of the game to try and get an extra inning out of Elmer DeScends. That leaves them, instead of Frank Cora, with Alex Cora pinch hitting in this spot. And it gets away briefly from Laird, and now trapped in no man's land. Bay and the throw gets him at second base. Bay thought that it had gotten farther away than it did. Slammed on the brakes, and Laird's throw beat him to second.
Well, it's a good boy. You just can't. You got to be a little bit more judicious when you're down. I'd rather see mistakes made in an aggressive manner, and that's an aggressive error right there.
And we've got a break here because Laird did not get his body in front of it or get down on his knees. He never would have reacted that quickly.
And now it's hit out to right field by Cora. Bagley Ordonez is there. That ends the inning. A productive inning, though, for the Mets as they get back in the game with 3 runs driven in by Ray Davison Bay at 6-4 Detroit. For all kids 12 and under. For tickets, visit Mets.com or call 718-507-TIXX. Josh Foley has just arrived in the ballpark. Called up today from Buffalo to give the Mets some catching insurance with Ron Barajas suffering from back spasms. Raul Valdez sent down to Buffalo to make room. It's already had an impact on the Mets' strategy tonight, having to get an extra inning out of Descends in the middle of the game. But you've got Tolley not only available to catch, but perhaps as a left-handed pinch hitter as well. Now it'll be Bobby Parnell to pitch the 7th inning with the Mets back in this game down by 2 runs.
Well, in 2009, Bobby pitched in 68 games for the Mets, including 8 starts. He had 4 saves in Buffalo before his recall.
Miguel Cabrera leads off in the 7th inning for Detroit. Cabrera 1 for 2 and a sacrifice fly. I'm going to talk with Bobby today and asked him whether there was anything that he was doing differently this year. And he said basically he's trying to do exactly the same thing he did early last season, which is come in and throw strikes with his fastball, mix in an occasional slider. He said he thought last year when he got off to that fantastic start the first 2 months of the season that lack of familiarity of the hitters probably played in his favor. Then, of course, he didn't pitch nearly as well the next couple of months, and then they moved him to the starting rotation, which didn't work out.
I think he tried to complicate it a little too much. The whole key for Bobby, and everyone kept telling him he's got to get a second pitch, he's got to get a second pitch. Well, that second pitch right there, slider's great, but unless he has command of his fastball, he'll never get to that point. So command of that 95 plus is the key for Bobby.
Brendan Bosch on deck, and then Brandon Inge for the Tigers here in the 7th. Big inning to try and put up a 0 with the Mets rallying for 3 in the 6th. 2-2 to Cabrera. Nice job in relief by Elmer DeSenz, who went 2 innings, allowed no runs, 1 hit, a walk, and a strikeout. After Takahashi had an off night, 4 innings plus, 6 runs, 8 hits. Two to Cabrera. That's low and away. The slider, 3-2. We have news from Port St. Lucie on Carlos Beltran's rehab opener. Carlos played 5 innings tonight. No chances in the field. 0 for 2 with a walk. First of 20 days he can be on rehab. Swing and a miss. And Cabrera down for the first out.
Even the best hitters, when you command the fastball low and away on the corner, they're not going to touch it.
So Parnell opens with a strikeout. And now Brennan Bosch will step in. Bosch is 1 for 2 in a walk. During Jerry Manuel's pregame press conference today, there were multiple questions regarding the possibility of Carlos Beltran playing in the games in Puerto Rico that start 4 days from now. And to me, the idea of that is absurd for a guy who has not played in the game all year, to think that he could play 3 or 4 days in minor league rehab games and then be ready to play in the majors.
You can eliminate a couple of days right now, because after today, the big day for Carlos will be tomorrow. When he comes to the ballpark, how does he feel moving forward?
Take your time.
And Jerry said, well, he might be fighting to try and play those games, but I think it's silly to even think about that. As much as Carlos would love to play in his native Puerto Rico, and you can understand how much that would mean to him, it means more for him to be able to play injury-free the rest of this year.
I think the key for Beltran is if he feels great. I think the All-Star break is a beautiful natural divide to the side on that. You have that break. You also have time as a coaching staff to figure out how to use Carlos in that time, depending on how close he is to 100%. And it also artificially gives Carlos more time past when he feels great and ready to go. You feel great, as Keith has always said, play another couple games.
We'd love to get 70 games out of Carlos. The last 70 games of the season. The Mets are right there in it. A victory tonight, they're on top.
Bosch grounds one to the left side through the hole. With Reyes playing up the middle, Bosch able to find the space between Wright and Reyes for his second hit of the night.
Well, he continues to hit the ball all over the place, Bosch.
Well, Bosch 2 for 3 in this game. He's now hitting .342 for the season. And there's just nothing in his minor league record that suggests anything like that. 1 out and 1 on. Here's Brandon Inge, who's been on base 3 straight times, and infield hit 2 walks. And the slider down and away for ball 1. Tigers now with 10 hits in the game. The Mets have 5. Second outing for Parnell since being called up from Buffalo. Pitched a scoreless inning on Tuesday. And a fastball strike. Parnell called up when Henry Mejia was sent down to Double-A to work as a starting pitcher. And there's a certain irony in that, isn't there? That Parnell, who was the hot commodity out of spring training last year, replaced Mejia, who was the same this year.
And so far, they have not been able to catch up to that fastball. After Takahashi and DeSenz, some real cheddar coming from Parnell.
Ahead on Inge, 1-2. And the count evens. Do you figure that Mejia needs the rest of the season before he would be ready to be a major league starting pitcher?
Absolutely. Yeah, because he's going to be built up to a certain time, and by the time he gets built up there, he might only have 10 starts before they have to shut him down innings-wise because the innings he pitched here in the major leagues.
Swing and a miss, and Inge is down on strikes. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for Parnell. Inge retired for the first time tonight.
Throw it by him again, Ronnie.
Just doing it mostly with that fastball. You know what I like about Parnell's fastball? Most of them have been down in the strike zone.
Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. The only player to have 20 or more wins for the Mets and Tigers, not Walt Terrell.
We're going to hate ourselves when we see the name. Oh!
Dave Malicki, who pitched one of the most important games in Mets history.
How about almost
first ever interleague game with the Yankees, a shutout at Yankee Stadium.
Almost the same record with both clubs.
Malicki was one of those guys, Ronnie, that had a good curveball and threw it with his fingernail.
Yeah.
He had his finger jabbed into the
So it's like a knuckle curve,
yes.
right? He used to throw straight over the top, pretty straight gas.
One of the nicest men you'll ever meet, Dave Malicki. Gerald Laird is 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Tell you what, I like what I see out of Parnell tonight. I mean, he's throwing bullets.
Eddie Bonine up in the Detroit bullpen. And now Parnell ahead of Laird, 1-2. Struck him out. Bobby Parnell gets Gerald Laird with a slider. Parnell fans 3 in the top of the 7th. Stretch time. That's down by 2. Different teams, including the Mets and the Tigers.
Houston and Montreal, right?
Le Grand Orange. They didn't call them that in Detroit, by the way.
No,
even though they
not.
wear orange in Detroit.
That's good.
Eddie Bonine comes on to pitch the bottom of the 7th.
Well, he made the team last year, but spent most of the year in the International League, and he's been very valuable for this Tiger staff out of the bullpen this year.
His stats brought to you by Harris. Mets up the lower third of the batting order coming up. Blanco, Tejada, and Carter, who's sitting in the 9th spot. Blanco is 0 for 2. He's popped up to short and grounded out to third base. And he takes ball 1. Blanco getting his second straight start tonight with Barajas sitting because of back spasms. Josh Tolley here for backup. And Bonine throws a strike, 1-1.
So Bonine has that good sinker slider pitcher.
You've seen one, you've seen them all.
Is that really true?
No. Although usually sinker slider pitchers, the great majority are all alike. It's the ones that are really got the real. There's very few ones that can throw a Roger McDowell hard sinker. That's the ones. Those are the guys that are a step above.
More like a curveball than a slider.
Yeah, it's like a slurve. Nice pitch to be able to throw 2 and 1.
Bonine acquired as a Rule 5 pick from San Diego by the Tigers 5 years ago. It's worked out for them. 3-2 now to Blanco. And scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th to get closer after trailing 6-1. Trying to get restarted again here in the 7th. The starter Galarraga went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs, 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 1. That's been terrific at continuing to push when they get far behind. Swing and a miss, and that curveball strikes out Blanco for the first out.
Well, this is his best weapon. Good breaking pitch from Bonine. Off speed, fold him. Also has great action. It looks just like his fastball with the way his body goes after that pitch.
Tigers Ruben Tejada, who's 0 for 2 tonight, started the night with a 7-game hitting streak. In this game, he's flied out to right, hit a cue shot back to the pitcher. And he takes a knee-high strike. Hit by the pitch, and with that the Mets will get the tying run to the plate with Chris Carter. There's the uniform. Second batter Bonine has hit this year. Well, Carter made a bid for a home run his first time up in the 5th. Hit a long foul fly down the right field line, and then hit one the other way that sent Bosch back to the warning track and left that he caught.
I don't know how the breaking ball is going to fare against Carter, but he loves that ball away and down.
Carter came into the double switch when the starter Takahashi left, so that Elmer Descends could go 2 innings. Jose Reyes on deck. Tying run up the plate. Carter takes a strike.
Oh, nice pitch to lead off. A little change up. Sinking away. Knee high outside corner. Nice pitch.
And Bonine ahead on Carter 0-2. This has 2 big league home runs. He hit both in Baltimore on the last road trip. Both were 3-run homers. Both came as a DH. Mets are out of DH opportunities this year, unless they play in late October. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt, it gets behind Laird. Right through the 5-hole. And Tejada down to second.
Well, Laird's had a tough series here. That was a changeup. Looked like a little splitter, Ronnie. A little tumbling action.
Did.
Get your manager upset. Takes the double play away. Now you got to earn your 2 outs.
Carter right here. I mean, it'd be great if he had a home run, but just pick up this run. Base hit.
Bill Cook, the lefty, up in the Tigers bullpen now. 1-2 to Carter. Little grounder foul. Down to Razor Shine. Ryota Igarashi up in the Mets bullpen after Parnell pitched a very impressive 7. Jerry said when Parnell came up that he could not use him for more than 1 inning. So even though his turn of the order is not going to come around, we'll see a new pitcher in the 8th. Carter trying to hang in there behind in the count. And the breaking ball dribbled foul.
Just barely got a piece of that to hang in.
Red hot Reyes looming on deck. Bonai knows he's got to get this guy out. Carter trying to pick up Tejada from second base after a hit by pitch and a wild pitch. Mets have had just 5 hits all night. One-two. Hit hard, base hit. Tejada being waved around by Chip Hale. Ordonez just throws it to the cutoff man. An RBI single for Chris Carter, and the Mets are within 1 run at 6-5.
Well, nice at bat by Chris. Change up. Too much of the middle of the plate. Stayed back nicely.
Chris Carter is now 7 for 13 with runners in scoring position this year.
And that was a nice job by Chip Hale. You should be careful there, but Ordonez cannot throw at all.
So now Reyes at the plate with the tying run at first. Jose had 3 hits in each of the last 2 games. Tonight he has walked twice and scored a run and popped up to short. Mets are 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight, helping them get back in the game. They were down 6-1. It's now 6-5. And Bonai behind on Reyes 2-0. They got the lefty Koch up in the bullpen. The left-hand hitter Feliciano on deck.
Tatis and Barajas, Jerry's bench from the right side.
Barajas probably not available.
And Pagan not available, so it would be Tatis.
Nobody. Little flare, shallow left center, coming on hard as Bosch. Slides, can't get it. Into second base goes Carter. A bloop single for Jose Reyes, and the tying run is in scoring position.
Well, a very bad jump by Bosch here on this bloop.
Bosch and the shortstop really gave up on it, I thought, too early. He would have made that play, but
it looked like he was about to slide for that ball and then thought better of it. So now Jim Leland comes out. He's going to the home plate umpire to make a double switch. They'll bring the lefty Koch into the game. The pitcher for the Tigers is due to bat second in the 8th inning, so he'll flip the lineup, and we'll see whether Jerry makes a move with Feliciano. The problem is if Pagan can't play and you take Feliciano out, you'd have to play Jason Bay in center field. So we'll see whether Jerry's willing to make that move. We'll be right back to Citi Field.
No.
Minnesota Twins come to town tomorrow night. There are your Mercedes probable starters. Mike Pelfrey tries again for his 10th win tomorrow night against Kevin Slowey. Santana against his old team on Saturday. John Neese goes Sunday against Scott Baker. Phil Koch comes in. Alex Avila will catch. He'll bat 9th. Koch will bat 7th. And Jesus Feliciano stays in to face Koch, lefty on lefty. And a fastball misses for ball 1.
Well, Koch will tell you that he has 5 wins in his last 5 2/3. He has not given up any runs. But if you remember in the first game of this series, he gave up the 2-run single, not his runners, to Ike Davis.
That was the only batter he faced. Feliciano 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a double, and he scored 2 runs. The tying and lead runs on base with 1 out. A run is home in the 7th. And a fastball strike to Feliciano, 1-1.
Well, if you look at Jerry's bench, as Gary said, you really only got Tatis and Tolley with Pagan and Barajas. Probably questionable whether they can swing the bat. We know Pagan can't. So it's got to stay with Feliciano here.
Well, if you batted Tatis in this spot, that would mean you'd have to have an outfield with Francoeur already out of the game. You'd have Tatis in left, Day in center, Carter in right.
Right, and you only have really Josh Tolley left on your bench.
That's pretty rough.
This young man hit 385 in the minor leagues. Obviously, at some point, he had to face some left-handers.
And lefties are hitting 245 against Koch. It's not like he's been lights out against him. There's nobody up in the Tigers bullpen. That is Koch going to face David Wright.
Wow.
Barring a double play. Fouled off the leg of Feliciano. If you're Jim Leland, you know what the numbers are, the way David eats up lefties.
I would have Zamaya up and have him come in for 4 outs.
He obviously trusts Koch against Wright. Get a shot out of him unless there's a double play. Stranded 2/3 of his inherited runners. 2-2 to Feliciano. Little chopper over the mound. In comes Santiago. Has no play. And the bases are loaded. 3rd hit of the night for Feliciano.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. A bloop and a bleeder have put the Tigers in some big-time jeopardy here.
How did Santiago throw that ball?
I don't know, but it's very interesting. Really, the base runner Reyes really upset the timing of Santiago. See, he's going to stop there and then proceed, and by that time, did not get the handle.
Well, that'll drive you to go back and have a heater.
Gene Lamont not looking at all happy. So David gets the opportunity against the lefty with the bases loaded and 1 out. Tying run at 3rd, go-ahead run at 2nd. And Wright watches outside for ball 1. David has singled and doubled tonight. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run. Carter the tying run at 3rd. Reyes the potential lead run at 2nd. And Feliciano at 1st. David hitting .417 against lefties, the best in the league. Well.
Now as a hitter, you just don't want to do too much. 2-0. Calm, cool, and collected. The pitcher's got to throw a strike here.
Chances are this fastball is going to be away.
Now on 2-0. Wright swings and misses at the fastball away. 2-1.
Oh, ball 3 there. David a little over anxious. Got some sink there, didn't he?
Yeah, that 2-seamer from Koch.
Deep breath.
Time for 10.
Lock in. off-speed pitch by Koch, and it's 2-2.
Wow, nice pitch. Jeez.
What a combination. Fastball, sinking in one place, change up 10 miles an hour slower, right in the same spot.
Boy, that's a pretty good pitch right there. I would not have expected that.
Now it's 2-2 to Wright. Ball to stay alive.
Barely.
Good job by Koch keeping that ball just off the plate.
There we go.
David with an RBI tonight. He has 57 for the year, the best in the National League. Two-two. Lifted down the right field side, foul. And into the crowd.
He's lucky. Down and in.
Yeah, you can't throw David down. You're looking for trouble. He's got 2 strikes, and he's really protecting the plate here. So he's going to be going up the middle. But boy, you throw downstairs, you're asking for a whooping.
Mike Davis on deck. Let's need at least a fly ball from David to tie the game. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Koch to Wright. He struck him out with a fastball.
Wow.
Got it up to 95 miles an hour for a big second out of the inning.
Well, this is a heck of an at-bat. A good at-bat for David. And again, that movement seems to give David trouble.
Well, instead of that ball moving into him, that ball moving away. Always the toughest for David. And Phil Koch last year appeared in 75 games for the Yankees. Knows what he's doing.
I'll tell you what, good at-bat by David. I mean, that was, 2-2 was it count was even some tough pitches. He had a good cut at that pitch.
Jim Leland had faith in Koch pitching against the best hitter in the league against lefties, and Koch was up to the task. Now Ike Davis is 0 for 3, drove in a run with a ground out his last at bat. And he fouls away the fastball, 0-1.
Remember the other night, 3 straight breaking balls in this situation to Davis. He got the base hit, got ahead of him 0-2 with sliders, and then threw him an 0-2 hanger run. He got the base hit.
Pulled it into right field.
Let him off with a fastball.
I bet she gets another fastball away here.
And he misses with the fastball. 1-1. Tigers came into this series with the best bullpen ERA in the American League. They've been touched up so far in the series, but they've got some good arms. Koch goes away with a slider, and Ike laid off.
Good eye by Ike. This is what he does so well, folks. Look at him check his swing. And Fanny flew out, but he does step in the bucket. But he's got a good knowledge of that strike zone. He's able to check his swing. I've seen him do this a lot. Outstanding.
Now it's 2-1 to Ike. And he bounces one foul, 2-2.
Koch has a lot of weapons. He throws 95. He's also got a good breaking ball against lefties. And there, the 2-seamer that gave David problems, he uses that against the left-handers also.
That's 5 runs down tonight. They've gotten within 1, but they still need a big 2-out hit. 3 in the 6th and 1 here in the 7th. Two to Davis. To center field. Jackson back. Makes the catch. Side retired. Mets get 1 to pull within 1. But both does some strong work to keep the Tigers in front. This game, but 3 runs in the 6th and a run in the 7th that got them within 1 as we go to the 8th.
You know, the great thing about the manager, Jim Leland, for the Tigers is that he's not going to pussyfoot around. There's no, hey, big guy, good try there. He really will get in your face and will let you know what he thinks of your selection of pitches. And he's telling Eddie Bonine right now with those gestures that he is not too happy with what he decided to throw. But, you know, at the end, still trying to instruct the young pitcher to let him know what he thought would be a better choice.
He turned that from a little scolding to a positive, and you know, that's the way to do it.
Jim Leland has been one of the best managers in baseball for a long time now, going back to his days with the Pirates, his championship year with the Marlins, and now 5 years in Detroit as Ryota Igarashi pitches the 8th inning.
Coming off a few good outings now, Jerry Manuel was asked, is he confidence in Nieve and Igarashi growing? He says it is growing as long as they command their fastball. Everything comes off their fastball, and he said they've been much better lately.
Danny Worth, then Alex Avila and Austin Jackson due for the Tigers in the 8th. Worth is 1 for 3 tonight. Doubled back in the 2nd. He's also driven in a run, and he lines one to left, chasing over his bay to pick it off. 1 out. Chris Carlin standing by. New York State Smokers Quit Line game break. So with the Phillies winning and the Braves losing, the Phillies are only 2.5 back. The Mets, if they could win tonight, could take over first place. Here's Alex Avila, who came in on the double switch in the last inning. He was the starting catcher last night and went 1 for 3. Avila, the son of Detroit Tigers assistant GM Al Avila. His grandfather Ralph was a longtime executive in the Dodger organization, so he has really grown up around the game. One-0 from Igarashi, and the curveball misses. That's a pitch we've seen Igarashi throw since he's come back from the disabled list a couple of times, the pitch he appeared to have abandoned earlier in the year. Good fastball, 2-1.
See, what sometimes is lost is that you throw that curveball as a ball. So you say to yourself, boy, that really had no purpose. Well, it did. He just threw a fastball right by the hitter because of the change of speeds.
And he misses high, 3-1.
Igarashi has just been overthrowing that fastball since he's come back from the hamstring. I just would not quit on this guy. I think he's got great stuff.
Gets a swing and miss on a high fastball, 3-2.
If I were working with Igarashi, I would tell him simply don't try to overthrow. Location more than how hard you're throwing the ball. Keep the ball down, because if he keeps it down, then they'll swing it a split finger. If he doesn't, they won't.
3-2 to Avila, and he misses outside, ball 4, so Avila draws the 1-out walk. And interesting in that Igarashi doesn't appear to be throwing his splitter in this inning.
Well, he's got a good fastball, so he feels it. But at the same time, I don't think that Igarashi has the kind of stuff that he can blow people away like Parnell can when he's on top of his game. He's going to have to use all of his pitches.
So now Austin Jackson is 0 for 3 and a walk. Got aboard, stole a base, and scored back in the first. And a fastball strike. Pedro Feliciano getting ready. Big left-handed bat in the lineup. Brendan Bosch is 4 batters away. Fireballing right-hander Joel Zumaya up in the Tigers bullpen, getting ready to pitch the bottom of the 8th.
Oh, nice.
Good curveball. 0-2.
Beautiful curveball. Who tried to take this away? Because I'll tell you right now, this is nasty. Late break, more of a slurve than a straight over-the-top curve, but very effective, especially against right-handed hitters. Nice pitch.
Tried to get more of a slider grip this spring. He didn't really take to it, so he's gone back to throwing the curve. Blanco moves away, and the fastball outside, 1-2. Well, the Tigers understand how important an insurance run would be here. I mean, they have got a shutdown combination in the 8th and 9th with Zumaya and Valverde. And the Mets know that now that they've gotten to within 1 run, they've got to keep it right here. Fastball, strike 3 call. Jackson caught looking for the second time tonight. 9 strikeouts for Met pitching.
Location and the ball down is the key for Igarashi.
Jackson just gave up on that ball. So now Ramon Santiago will bat for the first time. Came on for defense after Ryan Rayburn went 3 for 3 with a walk, including a home run tonight. Santiago took over at second base. Switch hitter started last night at shortstop, went 0 for 2. And a letter high fastball for a strike. And that curveball misses. 1-1.
I like his curveball. I really do. I don't like the fold in his beak of his hat. Minor details, my friend.
You prefer the flat brim?
No.
Swing and a miss. That was heat from Igarashi, 1-2.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about right there.
The mitt popper.
That's like dial it up a notch, son. You're a little tardy.
1-2 to Santiago. And the the splitters down. Fastball down 2-2.
That was borderline, man. That's a tough pitch to take. 2 strikes.
He just beat him. That's why he took it.
That's strike 3. You got a low ball umpire. That's a ring up.
Alonso Marquez calling the balls and strikes tonight. Now it's 2-2 to Ramon Santiago. And that's low. 3-2. So that'll set the runner in motion. Avila from first with Magalio Ordonez on deck.
This is a huge out because the next hitter up.
Davis playing behind Avila, who will get set to run. 3-2. And he struck him out. Nothing but heat. And Igarashi with back-to-back strikeouts takes care of Jackson and Santiago. Now Jason Bay leads off in the bottom of the 8th. Mets down 1. That goes sports night tonight after the post game at 1 a.m. right here on SNY as Joel Zumaya takes over the pitching. His number is brought to you by Harris.
Well, look at that strikeout to walk ratio. Zumaya, who can get it up there around 100 miles an hour, has averaged 9 strikeouts per every 9 innings pitched.
Oh, this is a redeemer for Zumaya, who gave up 2 runs last night in 2/3 of an inning and 2 walks.
Chula Vista, California guy. San Diego.
Yeah, same. I think Ty Wigginton.
Yeah.
Jason Bay leads off in the bottom of the 8th inning. Zumaya walked a pair last night and was charged with a run in 2/3 of an inning. Bay tonight 1 for 2 and a walk, drove in a run with a 6th inning single. Mets were down 6-1 in this game, but they rallied for 3 in the 6th. And Chris Carter drove in a run in the 7th. Mets had a chance for more, but Phil Koch came out of the bullpen, did a great job stranding the tying run at 3rd. Now Zumaya in the 8th. And Bay takes up and in 2-0. And that's a scary proposition when Zumaya comes up and in 98 miles an hour.
Well, he's conveniently wild, or maybe inconveniently wild. He will throw some pitches that come up near your head.
Well, I always felt that it's a close ball game and it's 2-0 with Tatis in the on-deck circle. That you're 2-0 and he's missed inside, that he's got to throw a strike. He might make a mistake out over the middle.
Day fouls it back.
It's interesting how our different thought processes are, you know.
That's right.
Well, yours obviously is offensive on the mound, and my mind is offensive, attacking the pitcher.
My whole thought was, if the hitters are, as you see, Nieve and K-Rod, if you have one of the better hitters, that up and in doesn't mean anything to them because they're going to stick their nose in there and look for something away.
Now Zamaya's gotten back to 2-2. And the breaking ball, Bay hits it out to right field. Ordonez toward the corner, and he runs it down. Long run for Macaulay Ordonez, but he makes the play for the first out.
I'll tell you what, this Tiger team played 81 games here. It's not suited for, it wouldn't be suited for this ballpark.
Though the ball's been really rushing out there. Worth hit a ball earlier over Frank Core's head that just seems to be carrying in that corner.
It's a very windy evening, and winds are somewhat unpredictable here. Fernando Tatis, you see what he's done overall. There's the flag. You see what he's done overall, 175, but he's been far more effective than that as a pinch hitter this season. 6 hits and 17 at bats. That's 353 pinch hitting, including a home run. And he hits a weak ground ball to short for Danny Worth. And quickly, Zumaya has 2 outs. So it'll be left to Henry Blanco with 2 out and nobody out. The Mets are short on the bench tonight. Angel Pagan probably unavailable because of the muscle spasms in his side, and Rod Barajas almost certainly unavailable because of the back spasms. That leaves only Josh Thole left on the Mets bench. Thole called up today. Blanco is 0 for 3, popped up, grounded out, struck out. And a little flare into shallow right center. That'll fall for a hit. Blanco stops at first base with a 2-out single, and the tying run's aboard.
Well, the Mets have had their share of bloops and bleeders in this game.
Would you take the chance of running Thole for Blanco?
No.
I would like to keep Thole back in case you needed him to hit. Would you run a Santana or a pitcher who's got great speed?
But you'd still have
to
put Thole
in. But you'd still have him if you needed him this inning.
Oh, I see. If you need him later in this inning.
Yeah.
Here's Ruben Tejada. It was 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 7th. Jose Valverde, the fine Detroit closer, getting himself ready for the 9th, or perhaps helping here in the 8th. And Tejada hits one to shallow left. On comes Bosch, and it drops for a hit. 2 straight 2-out hits, dropping in front of Detroit outfielders, and now the tying runs in scoring position.
Well, completely tied up inside.
Ruben Tejada now with an 8-game hitting streak. Well, you're right about the Tigers. I mean, they've got basically 4 outfielders, the 3 playing tonight plus Johnny Damon, and 3 of them are big-time defensive liabilities.
Well, there's just so much space between the infielders and outfielders that I guess you can say that you're not killing your pitcher because it's not going over their head and you're playing base to base, but still you put yourself in a position that Carter with another base hit could tie it up.
Well, this is a good matchup right here. Fastball hitter and Carter, and a fastball pitcher.
Carter had a terrific at bat in the 7th inning, fell behind in the count, hung in there, and finally got a pitch he can handle and singled through the hole into right to drive in a run. Carter 1 for 2 since coming off the bench. Got a slow runner at second, and Blanco carrying the tying run. Tejada at first. 6-5 Detroit, 8th inning. And a fastball off the plate to Carter at 98 miles an hour, 1-0.
Even Carter pulled the fastball earlier, foul for a home run to keep it fair against this 98 miles an hour.
Look at the outfield defense. Bosch playing Carter like a opposite field hitter. Look at that gap in left center field. And deep is Bosch.
Remember, Carter hit one that chased Bosch onto the warning track earlier. And that fastball just misses 2-0.
Well, it's your pitch to hit right here. And at the borderline low strike. This is Alfonso Marquez, not a low ball umpire.
The 3-run home run has been Carter's strength this season.
Did 2 of them in Baltimore. And he takes a rip at 99 and fouls it back.
And I'll tell you what, that was some severe cheddar.
Add to that 6 for 12, the hit he had his last time up, so he's now 7 for 13 with runners in scoring position this year.
He likes the ball a little down from there.
He's a left-hand hitter, typical lefty. His wheelhouse is mid-thigh down.
Carter asking for time, so Maya was ready to go. Chris was not.
Always a good step out right there. 2-1 count.
Two-1 from Zumaya, but first a look at second.
Where's he going? Where is he going?
Mr. Zumaya, meet Henry Blanco. Henry Blanco, meet Mr. Zumaya.
Jeez, you gotta be kidding me. Why would that even cross his mind?
Well, he wasn't ready to throw to the plate, maybe.
Henry has stolen a base this year.
Come on. I knew you'd bring that up.
It's his first in about a decade. 2-1 to Carter. Out to left field. Toward the line goes Bosch. And he tracks it down to end the inning. Now the Mets get a couple of 2-out hits, but they strand 2. Now on to the ninth. 6-5 Detroit. Best in HD free with IOTV. By Ford, check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer today. By Bigelow Tea, Joe Torre and Wayne Gretzky's green tea of choice. By Rums of Puerto Rico, the rum capital of the world. By Pepsi. By the most award-winning brand of 4x4 ever, Jeep. Visit Jeep.com today. And by Exide Batteries, available at all Parts Authority locations, the future of auto parts. Fernando Nieve on the pitch at the top of the ninth inning. Mackley Ordonez leads off for the Tigers and takes it away for ball one.
Nieve was pretty outstanding coming in for that game. Jonathan Neese faltered 4 2/3. Jonathan did, but Nieve came in and pitched 2 1/3 innings. 40 pitches, though, he threw in the game.
Night before last, Ordonez 2 for 4, a 2-run homer tonight, and slashes one foul. Nieve, the 5th Met pitcher of the night. Takahashi is on the hook. He went 4 innings plus, allowed 6 runs, 8 hits. The bullpen has been terrific. Descends for 2, Parnell for 1, Igarashi for 1, 4 scoreless for the Mets bullpen. Keeping the team in the game, giving them a chance to come from 6-1 to 6-5. And a fastball strike from Nieve, 1-2. You got Miguel Cabrera on deck, and then the lefty swinging Brennan Bosch, and so Feliciano will stay ready in the bullpen. And the fastball fouled off, and Nieve coming with heat.
That is a very defensive swing from Ordonez. Sounds like a fly swat. Look at this. You know, if you're the Tigers, though, you've got to be saying this is pretty impressive. After descends, Parnell, Igarashi, and now Nieve all around that 95 mark.
And a little dribbler for Blanco to go out and get. 1 out. Nothing but heat from Nieve. 2 nights after going 2 in the 3rd. And now we'll take on Miguel Cabrera, who's 1 for 3 in a sacrifice fly tonight. Nieve pitched very carefully to Cabrera on Tuesday night and walked him on 4 pitches. See how he goes after him here. This would probably be his last batter. And a fastball foul back. Bosch on deck. Feliciano getting ready. Mets will have the top of the batting order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Nieve trying to keep it a 1-run game. Here's Pedro. Breaking ball, right side, base hit. Tejada shaded up the middle, and Cabrera hit it back to his left. So a 1-out single for Cabrera. Second time the Mets have gotten beat on a shift tonight. And now Bosch and Feliciano will be coming on as Jerry Manuel makes his way out to the mound. So Nieve faces 2 batters. Gets a weak ground ball and a ground ball base hit. And now Feliciano will try and get his man with the lefty swinging rookie Bosch coming up. Mets trying to keep it a 1-run game in the top of the 9th. We'll be right back. '41st appearance for Pedro Feliciano.
I think he had his finest outing of the season 4 days ago against the New York Yankees. 2 innings of scoreless relief.
Comes in to face Brennan Bosch with 1 out and 1 on. Bosch 2 for 3 and a walk tonight. And it's up and in, 1-0. To Bosch. Well, you go back to Jerry Manuel's decision when Takahashi came out of the game to double switch Descends in and take Frank Core out, and you look at how this game has played out. It's gone exactly the way Jerry expected. He had to get that extra inning from Descends because now he's emptied his bullpen with the exception of Frankie Rodriguez, and that's all as a consequence of Rod Barajas's back spasms, which forced the Mets to bring up a catcher and shorten their pen as Bosch takes one the other way into the left field corner. Cabrera goes to third. He'll be held up there. So Bosch with his 3rd hit of the night. Boy, has he had an impressive series. And the Tigers have 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
Pretty nice hitting right there. And you're right. He looks like Mike Greenwald, doesn't he?
It does.
Absolutely great call running that first night.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Anyone who's in charge of the defensive books that can throw him in the fire tonight, the shifts have been beaten all night long by both teams.
Now the Mets will intentionally walk Brandon Inge. Carlos Guillen has come out on deck. The pitcher spot is due up next. And so the switch hitter Guillen will be coming up. There's nobody throwing in the Mets bullpen. As we said, K-Rod's the only guy left down there other than a starter. So it's going to be on Feliciano to try and get out of a bases loaded mess. Nice thing about Guillen from a Mets perspective is with his knees, he's a double play candidate. And that's exactly what Pedro needs right now. So Guillen has started the first 2 games of this series at second base and went 1 for 8 in the 2 games. Will bat here against Feliciano. Cabrera is at third, Bosch at second, and Inge at first with 1 out. Dan Warthen out to the mound for a conversation before Pedro goes after Guillen.
What's interesting here, though, guys, is that the point you made before, Gary, if you're any of the infielders with Cabrera, who does not run well at third base, this would be a time that you can't take a chance on a double play. You've got to keep it at 1 run.
This has actually been kind of a fun game to look at the both managers managing here. This has been the night when the managers have had to earn their money.
That's right.
Jerry had his starter leave early on the night when he had shortened his bullpen. That always makes things dicey. And has had to manage from behind in this game.
You can see the defense basically very straight up, a little in at the corners, halfway at the corners.
You know, you're missing Pagan's arm in center and Francour's arm in right field for the sacrifice fly attempt.
So Guillen takes upstairs for ball 1. Guillen, a switch hitter, has been much better left-handed than right this year. He has 1 career at bat against Feliciano, 0 for 1. Pedro trying to work himself out of a mess. And Guillen strokes 1 foul, 1-1. Tigers now with 12 hits, the Mets with 10. Detroit's been ahead all night. They scored a run on the top of the first, built a 6-1 lead before the Mets fought back within 1 as Jose Valverde is getting ready to face the top of the Mets order in the bottom of the 9th, hoping to have some insurance to work with. Guillen hits one to short. Should be 2. Reyes to Tejada on the first double play. Side retired. Feliciano gets exactly what the doctor ordered. 6-4-3, and now Reyes will lead off in the last of the 9th with the Mets down by a run. John Kelly comes in for defense to play left field in the bottom of the ninth, as the Tigers bring on the former Diamondback and Astro Jose Valverde to close.
183 saves in his big league career, 167 of them in the National League, where he had success with both the Diamondbacks and the Houston Astros.
Numbers brought to you by Harrah's. That's along the top of the batting order up in the last of the ninth. Reyes, Jesus Feliciano, and Wright. Mets were down in this game 6-1, scored 3 in the 7th, 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. The biggest at bat in this game so far. Phil Cope striking out David Wright with the bases loaded and 1 out of the 7th. And the Mets have been unable to get that equalizer. Reyes tonight has been on 3 times with 2 walks and a blue pit. 1 for 2. And he bluffs the bunt and takes high for ball 1.
This is the key with Valverde. He can be wild. You can work a walk. And once you start to get a couple of runners on, you can really shake him up. He's been almost perfect since blowing his first save of the year.
Third baseman Injun on the grass against Reyes. And he's taking all the way. It's 2-0.
And a changeup thrown by Valverde there with a 1-run lead.
Reyes has seen him before. He's 2 for 8 against Valverde. Mentioning that you can rattle him. The Mets saw that in Arizona a few years ago. Really got him off his game.
He pitches on a lot of emotion, as the entire team out there looking for a rally. If you're going to have a championship year, you have to beat closers.
Valverde behind on Reyes, 2-0. And Jose takes a strike, 2-1.
Nope, that tells you about the Mets. You're right, Keith, what kind of team they got working this year.
Mets are 26-10 at home. Trying to come from a run down in the 9th tonight. And Reyes hits one to center field. Jackson coming on, and he puts it away for the first out.
Well, that's a huge out right there for the Tigres. You know what that tells you about guys on the bench like that leaning over the rail, and it might not happen tonight. The expectation that it's going to happen. That's a good thing.
That's about 7 last at-bat wins this year, including 3 walk-off wins. Good night for Jesus Feliciano, filling in for Angel Pagan. He's gone 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double, and he scored 2 runs. Started the night hitting 188. He's now hitting 300. The beauty of limited at-bats. Corners in against Feliciano, who takes an off-speed pitch off the plate for ball 1.
All it takes is a bloop and a blast.
The blast. David Wright is on deck. Valverde blew his first save chance this year. Since then, 16 in a row. And Feliciano hits one out to left center. Jackson easing over and overcomes Kelly in front of him to make the play for the second out.
Well, Kelly in for defense. That ball's tailing away from Jackson. The right play right there. Left fielder taking it.
And so the Mets are down to their final out with David Wright coming up. David is 2 for 4 tonight. A single, a double. He's driven in his 57th run. Valverde ready to go. And David takes a strike. The outfield as deep as they can play to try and cut down on the extra base hit. Inge guarding the line at third. Wright with 12 home runs this year. Hits one the other way. Foul. And now the Mets are down to their final strike. Mike Davis would be next. Oh, 2 to right. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Jose Valverde with a 1-2-3 ninth to save it for Armando Galarraga, and the Mets comeback falls a run short as the Tigers salvage the finale of the 3-game series, 6-5.
Well, these veteran managers both went toe-to-toe as Valverde saves his 17th game out of 18 tries. The Tigers jumped on Takahashi early and gave Jimmy Leland a win in this series.
Well, the Mets showing resilience again, down 6-1 in this ball game in the 5th inning, and came back to 6-5, but just fell short. So a game where a lot of the managers, both sides, had to manage, and Takahashi just didn't have it tonight. Galarraga gets the win.
And give an assist to Phil Koch as you check out the Audi game summary. Koch with the big strikeout of right with the bases loaded in the 7th inning to keep the tying run off the board. And Ryan Rayburn and Naglio Ordonez with home runs for Detroit. So the Mets take 2 out of 3 in the series and do not take over first place in the NL East. They stay a half game behind Atlanta. Well, coming up tomorrow night, the Minnesota Twins are in town for the opener of a 3-game weekend series. Mike Pelfrey pitches against Kevin Slowey tomorrow night, 6:30 the coverage on SNY. Well, the Mets battle back tonight, but fell a run short as the Tigers win it 6-5 at Citi Field. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling.